What's up, folks? Welcome back to the stream. We are back live at the T5S2 Season 7 Invitational Round of 16, and we have a repeat match for you today. We already watched earlier this weekend Genestealer Cults versus Space Wolves in an incredibly spicy game. Danny P playing Genestealer Cults versus Animander's Space Wolves. Absolutely wild matchup that one was. And we have it again here today with, over here in the red, Mr. KingKungFury, a.k.a. Demetrios, playing Genestealer Cults versus Agent X from T Prestige Worldwide playing his Space Wolves. A very spicy build of Space Wolves. A lot of very unique includes here. Before we get too far into it, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors for the Season 7 Invitational, Delta Studios, which makes a wide variety of super cool props, weapons, and equipment for a wide variety of sci-fi universes, but also, importantly, including Warhammer 40,000. Gamemat.eu, which makes tabletop accessories including neoprene terrain mats and resin pre-painted terrain that looks gorgeous. The Magnet Baron, at which you can get cool kits, magnetization kits for your Warhammer 40k kits, so you can keep your weapons flexible. And last but certainly not least, 3D6 Wargaming, which makes all of these wonderful objective mats that we use, and you can get Tactical Tortoise themed mats there as well. So we are getting into deployment with this matchup here, and it's going to be a wild one. Let's talk about the lists real quick, chat. If you want to follow along, you can find all the lists and information about the event at tts40k.com/invitational. In addition, exclamation point lists in chat will get you the lists, and you can find them in the description as well. Talking about KingKungFury as he is setting up his Aberrant unit right now. He is running a little bit more of a standard, I would say sort of a mid-range Genestealer Cult army that is very similar to a lot of the competitive GSC builds that we see on IRL tables. We've seen some a wide variety of different Genestealer Cult lists between going super heavy into infantry spam with Danny P. We've seen character spam with Ash C's Genestealer Cult list that we streamed last night, as well as this one, which is a little bit more of a mid-range. So this is running an Abominant. This is going to be the caddy for Inscrutable Cunning today. So the Abominant here is the character attachment for Aberrants. Getting that Inscrutable Cunning means that he is able to give the Aberrants this Infiltrator, which is why we're seeing the Aberrants post up right in the middle. We have rolled today that redeploys will happen after the roll to go first, at least for the time being. And all redeploys are going to be sort of acted as standard for now. They're going to work the same, and the redeploys allow you to make use of your deployment abilities. So things like Infiltrators will allow you to set up in the middle. But this huge Aberrant brick of super duper tough to kill infantry alongside that character is able to put a ton of pressure on the opponent from the very first turn. So even players who want to castle up, like we saw in Animander's game, where he created a castle in the back of his deployment zone, those Aberrants are able to basically just hammer through a lot of the forward deploy screeners and open the way for the infantry bricks later on. We then have an Acolyte Icon Ward. That's where the Meticulous Planner is, so that guy is going to be able to CP tax one stratagem each game, a Clamavus to protect the Icon Ward, importantly, also can respawn one cult ambush token after it's destroyed. So even if we get the most intelligent, biggest brain Space Wolf play here to get models within 9 inches of those cult ambush tokens and destroy them, the Icon Ward's going to say no, no, no to one of them and respawn that one. We have a Nexos with Prowling Adjutant, which allows his unit to move reactively, two Primuses, and one Reductus Saboteur. In terms of the infantry, we're running 3 units of Acolyte Hybrid Demo Charge Bricks. We saw these do incredible damage yesterday, both between Ash C and Justin S, just blasting each other with enormous Demolition Charge Acolyte Bricks, just destroying each other. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Neophyte hybrids with all of their seismic cannons, and these guys are actually running flamers, interesting, or a combination of flamers and grenade launchers. So not everything on the D3 damage weapons. We're also taking some infantry clear on those guys. Plus 2 Achilles Reach Runners, and 2 units of Adelan Jackals. Those are 5 Jackals apiece. Now we actually, kind of surprisingly, haven't seen the Adelan Jackals on the table in the Invitational so far. Nobody's running them. Ash C did run a Jackal Primus, or Alphas, but we didn't actually see any of the Jackals themselves. So this is an interesting unit. They do have a 9-inch scout move, so they're able to, again, kind of... they're able to sort of throw themselves up and complete your turn 1 secondary missions, which can be a little bit of a problem for Genestealer cults. They can sometimes run into issues with their kind of mid-board presence because they have a single unit infiltrating, and beyond that, all of their units are basically pretty slow. That is, outside of the Adelan Jackals. They also... when they cult ambush in, they can strategic reserve on instead of coming in normally. And, however, they aren't battle line, so they do actually have to roll for their cult ambush respawn. And last but certainly not least, when they move within 6 inches of an enemy unit, they can actually do a bombing run on it and deal mortal wounds. So there is a combination with these guys. We're not running it today, but between the Jackal Alphas, which allows you to potentially move after shooting, and the Prowling Adjutant, enhancement, you can actually move these guys 3 times in one single turn or one single battle round, and that allows you to potentially be triggering their mortal wound output multiple times. We're not going to see that today, but we are going to see them do some forward deploy shenanigans or some forward operation shenanigans. So again, we're not on Twitch right now, chat. We're just on YouTube for now. Maybe on Twitch later today, but not with Invitational stuff. We're going to be doing the Invitational 100% on YouTube this season, and see how that goes. Moving over to Agent X's list. This is a extremely spicy Gladius task force from the Space Wolves chapter. And one of the reasons that we're playing Space Wolves, well, there's a couple reasons, and we'll discuss them. We have a Calidus Assassin to start things off, but the actual Warlord is going to be Bjorn the Fell-Handed. Let's take a look at this guy's datasheet, because it is not a style of datasheet that I think that you would expect to see very often. This is the character Dreadnought from Space Wolves. He's rocking a Hellfrost cannon today, so he's either able to fire a single 36-inch range, 5 damage, straight 9 AP3 attack, or he has a Flamer profile, a 2-damage Flamer profile, which is pretty good. In addition, he has a 5+ Feel No Pain and halves damage, so despite the fact that he's only T9 with 8 wounds, that actually is basically like the equivalent of about 16 wounds. This dude is much tougher to kill than it actually looks like. On top of that, he also has an Agents of Vex CP tax baked in because of his Ancient Tactician ability. So once per game, he can increase the cost of a stratagem used by your opponent by 1. So on top of that, we're also running the Calidus Assassin. We have rolled for this event. We may change that in the future if we see erratas to the Calidus Assassin, but because her Agents of Vex is worded differently than everyone else's, and taxes the opponent for the entire game when they use the stratagem again. We have ruled that again clause means that it will come into play multiple times. We may change that in the future, but for now, it actually gives her the super vect that we see units like Kairos Fate Weaver have. So she's able to tax you multiple times if you use the stratagem more than one time. We have 2 units of Infiltrators for forward deploy, 2 units of Scout Snipers, again, forward deploy units that have lone operative effect, so they can't be shot back on, which is pretty useful, but in this case I think it looks like they're mostly going to get blown up by Adelan Jackals almost immediately. And then on top of that, 3 units of Fenrisian Wolves. So this is another one of the big benefits of playing in Space Wolves, and kind of classically, this has been one of the reasons that you actually play into Space Wolves, because They have classically had a ton of super powerful utility options available to them. Fenrisian Wolves, in particular, for 30 points, you get 5 models with a 10-inch movement, and they can advance and charge. So they are relatively fast. They aren't particularly good at attacking, but they'll mess up some other light infantry or something. But the big benefit here is that they're a relatively quick, extremely cheap unit, which is not something that you can find anywhere else in Space Marines. So Agent X actually has a ton of these models that can range out around the table, complete secondary missions, strategic reserve on into weird places, act as screeners. So he has a ton of utility in this list. 4 infiltrating forward operator units that have deep strike denial, plus 3 more units of these Fenrisian Wolves that he's just going to throw away, basically with reckless abandon. In addition, because he's also playing in Gladius Task Force, he does have the opportunity to put these guys into Devastator Doctrine, which sounds very silly, right? These Fenrisian Wolves, they know the ins and outs of the Codex Astartes. Those dogs, they know what's up. So what that means is that you can actually give them the ability to advance and perform actions because they are eligible to shoot after they advance, even though they don't have any ranged weapons. And this is one of the reasons that the wording of Devastator Doctrine is very important in this specific situation, because it doesn't give your weapons assault. It just gives your unit essentially the same effect as having all assault weapons, meaning that you don't actually have to have ranged weapons to be affected by Devastator Doctrine. So what this allows that unit to do is, run up into the middle of the table and perform actions after an advance roll, which you can do after adaptive strategy or just by declaring Devastator Doctrine the normal way. We then also have an Invictor Tactical Warsuit. This guy is a pretty wild profile. We're running the Incendium cannon on him, which is a big, huge flamer. That is going to be pretty decent at cooking, especially these smaller utility units. But the other benefit that the Invictor Warsuit has is that after you target nearby Phobos units with ranged attacks, he actually gets to reactively shoot at you. And importantly, that also triggers off of the Invictor Warsuit itself. Because if I remember correctly, I'm just going to try to find his datasheet here. It looks like I've misplaced it, chat. Give me one moment. The Invictor Warsuit actually has all of the correct keywords to reactively fire, unless it only fires on infantry. Space Marines have too many profiles. We'll leave it at that. I have scrolling through hundreds and hundreds of data sheets here. Oh, this is embarrassing. All right, well, we'll check that up on later. We also have an Ironclad Dreadnought, pretty interesting include there with a seismic hammer and his Hurricane Bolter, so potential 12 shots with Twinling, so rerolling all of those wound rolls, alongside 2 Gladiator Lancers that we see as kind of the mainstay in a lot of Space Marine builds, largely to as basically an answer to heavy armor matchups. You sort of have to have a concession to Imperial Knights, and that's the Gladiator Lancers and Space Marines, because they're able to fire these 2 big, high-strength, basically full rerolling laser cannon attacks that can really threaten towering units on the first turn. That very little else in the Space Marine Codex does efficiently. Plus, then 2 Whirlwinds to throw things out.
After watching and playing a few games on the new GW layout, how do you and other feel about it? As someone who plays melee armies, I find it helps a lot.
Mako M, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you supporting the channel. I like the new GW layouts. I think the one downside of them is the towering keyword. It feels like they were constructed before the towering keyword was implemented, or maybe before its like true power was sort of like realized. And that's one of the reasons that prior to USO Tacoma, they had to nerf the towering units so heavily, because they had to make some sort of concession to... What are we drawing on the table here? There's no sig. They had to make some concession to the... Okay, I'm trying to get my attention. They had to make some concession to the terrain being very, very conducive to tower units.
Yeah, it won't matter.
Are you guys writing my name down? What's going on over here?
Trying to get your attention. I saw the other game do that, so it worked. He has a question on this terrain piece.
Oh,
this thing, does it block line of sight? Yeah,
no, it does. It does nothing. It's just cosmetic. It doesn't do anything. Yep.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, any of the pieces on the table, if you mouse over them and they don't tell you a type of terrain, it's just nothing. You can ignore it.
Okay.
It's just open terrain. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the rule that we have for, obviously, I don't know, could maybe get a little bit too over exuberant creating tables. We are on Watery Grave today, which is probably one of the most over the top table constructions I think that I've ever created. Maybe. And if you ever play on T5S2 maps, you'll notice that there are some things on the table that don't have colliders, or at least they shouldn't. Unless there's some reason that I can't physically make it, so they don't have colliders, and they don't have any tooltips when you mouse over them, so they don't tell you a terrain type, and those are cosmetic entirely. So you can delete them, you can move through them, you should be able to intersect your models with them. There's no problem with them at all. They're just there to look good. And so this one is pretty heavily themed, and that's the reason why. But that we have all these, kelp forests and algae and fishes and stuff like that. None of that counts for actual model placement or the mechanics of the game. And if you don't like them, you can delete them. We had some questions yesterday about having sort of terrain layouts that were a little bit less complex. And we may do that in the future, just create like sort of light versions of these that have less of the additional effects on them. Right now, because we're making tweaks to the layouts to make them more balanced for a variety of matchups, just like with the placement of walls and stuff on the table. I'm not going to be doing that, but it could be something that I release on the Steam Workshop into the future. If you want to play on these maps, by the way, chat, we play them at all of the events in the Tactical Tortoise Discord use these. And if you want to play them yourself, you could get them at tts40k.com/maps. They're all available on the Steam Workshop. Yeah, so Michael, yeah, just to reiterate and get back to your question there, I think the USO layouts are very effective. I like them a lot. I think that the addition of these little terrain features on the side that are easier to move around but still block line of sight is really actually super smart, because it creates these kind of like shadow zones where you can hide models, but we'll give it a little telestrator. So you can create this like sort of shadow zone in this area where you can hide models, but you don't necessarily need to be butt up against the ruins. So, unless your opponent deploys stuff right in the corner, there's basically very little that can attack into this area, which, depending on the deployment style, actually creates these very tight lines of sight, which is super cool. Victor Tactical Warsuit going down. Oh my god, Agent X has named his dreadnoughts. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. By the way, I did find the Tactical Warsuit datasheet for some reason. That was very embarrassing, so I apologize to everybody. But it does only target infantry, so you can't react to fire off of the Tactical Warsuit itself. But if you shoot at nearby infiltrators effectively, the Tactical Warsuit can punish you. He has a really interesting profile. A bunch of twin-linked weapons on this guy. Between the, or I guess twin-linked heavy stubbers anyway. You can take it to the twin-linked autocannon, but we are running the Incendium cannon today, so that's a D6 plus 3-shot, strength 6, EP1, ignore cover, flamethrower. It does feel a little expensive for what it does, but it feels like you kind of have to get value out of that reactive shot in order to make that unit make sense, but clearly Agent X believes in it, so here we go. And he's generally an extremely smart player. So it looks like we're just posting it up here to try to punish the Aberrants if they move out too aggressively with that big auto-hitting Overwatch. Although those Aberrants with a 4+ feel no pain probably going to be able to tank that. This is a long deployment step so far from both these players, from KingKungFury especially. We're down 12 minutes already for just deployment, and that is, I guess, part of the issue with Gene Stealer Cults. But we do have a lot in reserve for GSC. So 2 units of acolytes. Oh, I think I might have misspoke earlier. I think I said that these acolyte units were 10 model bricks, but I think they're only 5s, so they're not the demo charge. The big demo charge bricks. We have a couple demo charges in them, but largely just going to be using them for utility. The demo charges also do give you the assault ability, because they are assault weapons themselves, even after you've shot with them, which is cool. Which means that after you do your thing, you can advance and still perform actions with them. Then we have 2 more units of Neophyte Hybrids in reserve as well. 2 Inceptor squads in reserve for Mr. Agent X. Does that mean we have 1 Inceptor squad on the board? Yeah, we do. With Plasma Inceptor squads are starting on the table. I think, again, trying to deal with these aberrants, probably. Just giving Agent X some sort of way of killing them. Playing very aggressively with the Gladiator Lancers so far. We did discuss in the last game how basically worthless the actual laser cannon on the Lancer is in this matchup. It will probably kill 2 aberrants, but that's not the conversion you want in your 150-point tank. So I think that Agent is going to use it as basically this like forward body blocker. It's going to run up and perform rituals. It's going to go do secondaries. It's going to screen out deployment areas. Infiltrators coming into the back here to protect the flanks of the formation.
You don't have any single model deep strikes, correct? The minimum is 5 models.
I have one guy that it is on the table at the moment, but I can make him be in deep strike. Yes.
Okay, so my understanding is this zones out this section for now.
Sorry?
My understanding is this is zoned out for you. You can't get in this squad. Squad.
Yes.
Squad. I'm using the same color for both to make it easier for you. These are the 12-inch. Can't come at all. If you want me to change the colors for the units, just let me know.
No, I don't care.
I don't want you getting weird angles on me and picking me off.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I don't think I need to be out at all for turn 1. You can't deep strike at all turn 1 or anything weird like that, right?
No.
Okay, so turn 1, as long as I'm out of line of sight, that's all I care about.
I believe I have space here in next turn.
Chat, you can exclamation point lists in chat will get you links to the lists. You can also find them in the video description as well. All the lists for the event are on tts40k.com/invitational. You can find the players there, and you can click on them to see what they're playing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you can get the angle. You have to go some crazy distance to get to me.
To shoot them. Yeah, I'm not even that good to kill them all.
Yeah, I don't think they're easy target for you, just in case. All right. I think that's the safe line.
Something like here, it is.
Yeah, you have to get real close. I think they're safe. All right, what are we down to? We're down to our. This. All right, need Lancer and Whirlwind.
It's interesting how aggressive Agent is playing with his Whirlwind right here. With the Whirlwind basically screening out this front zone. That is one of the most powerful tools that Agent has in his disposal, at his disposal. In order, at least just as a huge indirect blast weapon that he can use to.
So he has a pregame move. If I want, I can step back.
Deal with some of these infantry squads. These would feel like the models that he wants to keep alive for as long as possible. Now it is interesting, and I think mostly because he might just not conceptually like the unit, but he is not running any Desolation Marines, which I think in the metagame right now, as it stands, with utility units and Genestealer cults being so important, Desolation Marines are probably one of the most powerful options that Space Marines have in the faction. Probably the most powerful unit in the faction, hands down. So not running them is handicapping himself, especially in this matchup, a little bit. But it does open up options for more utility, more interesting stuff to take. But we'll see how he can deal without the ability to just like wholesale remove these big neophyte bricks with huge desolation castle and launcher shots. Here comes the the dreadnought battle buddies over here. Oh, he has not named his ironclad dreadnought. That is for shame. He's named the Invictor Warsuit, but he hasn't named the ironclad. Are you kidding me? Chat. This is unacceptable. Are you serious? Let's take a look at this Ironclad Dreadnought real quick, because this guy is a pretty wild profile. He is this one. So, over the normal Dreadnoughts, he comes in at T10 2+ save, so he's much more difficult to kill. He doesn't have any damage reduction effect, so he's still only 8 wounds, so it will go down relatively quickly if you're able to defeat that defensive profile. But that T10 2+ is a very good defensive profile, especially since you basically permanently have cover. And it has the smoke launchers on the top, so it's actually able to grant itself cover as well. Smoke launchers that awkwardly, I think, shoot into its own hunter-killer missiles, which does seem not that useful, but it is what it is. So it can go to stealth with a 1+ save, effectively, thanks to those things. It gets +1 to hit and wound against vehicles and fortifications in melee only. But we are running, I think, the Seismic Hammer this time around. So he's running 3 attacks at Strength 14, AP 3, D6 +2 damage, which against vehicles is then going to hit on 2s and wound on 2s, essentially. And then also a Hurricane Bolter for a little bit of infantry sweeping. Only Strength 4, AP 0 for 1 damage, but up to 12 shots with Twin Link, so he gets rerolls baked in. Doesn't need to a moment that shot. Pretty interesting profile. Hopefully, I think it's going to be a little bit of a tank that's going to be difficult for the Genestealer units to knock down. High save damage reductions is pretty good against them, but it does have no damage reduction, which is unfortunate. But we'll see if they're able to push through that 2+ armor and strength 10. They can stack a bunch of AP if they tag him with the Achilles Ridge Runner and perfect ambush themselves. But that does require some setup.
Cool. Yeah.
So I think Agent might have lost the roll-off here, which is unfortunate. He was mentioning before the game that I think he had to win either the deploy first, the attacker defender roll-off, or the turn 1 roll-off, so that he could screen out the aberrant brick and not get alpha struck by it. And it looks like he might have lost both, which is a little unfortunate for him. Playing this really spicy Space Wolves brew against GSR cults, which are probably the best faction in the game, at least tied with Eldar for it, I think, does mean that you do have to get a little creative, and I think sort of banking on that first turn roll off is a pretty it is a spicy strategy, but it definitely could be one that you require.
Yeah, okay. I don't care about the deploys. Okay. Actually, I will deploy this unit, a big. Yes. That unit there, okay, and scouts.
So no redeploys on the table for, or even scout moves, I believe, for Agent X here. So you just kind of sit and take it. Probably going to lose these scouts on the first turn. Hopefully, they are making it difficult for the Aberrants to push too far forward. And I think we're also hoping that Bjorn can help deal with them later on. He does have a 3 damage melee weapon, which is a solid profile in order to deal with these the multi-wound Aberrants, but it still takes probably 2 attacks to kill one of them, which is a little unfortunate. And if those Gladiator Lancers stick around, which they should for the first turn, I think the Aberrants are gonna take some casualties from those things. Definitely, the Lancers would love nothing more than to shoot at some multi-wound models on this first turn. Now, I wonder if we're going to push these Adelan Shackles across the table to try to engage this Whirlwind. If we can stop that from shooting for a turn, that would be a big deal, or at least make it do significantly less. Big question is going to be what the Whirlwind's priority target's going to be. They could potentially even oath a moment and try to pick up the Achilles Ridge Runners in the first turn. Or at least one of the Achilles Ridge Runners, which can restrict the amount of AP that the AP stacking that the Genestealer Cultist can do. And Victor Tactical Warsuit taking its scout move backwards to try to save itself from the Aberrants.
I want this to be an 11-inch charge. That's all. So 0.1 back and I'm done. All right.
Okay.
Yes. Good luck. Have fun. You've already had all the good luck. Have the first turn and the roll.
Let's see.
So I'm gonna buckle up for a rough ride.
Okay. Not that good luck with the contest. Good. So.
Assassination turn 1. Not a particularly good pickup for tactical missions. Looks like both players are on tactical missions today. We're gone are the days of everyone taking fixed, apparently, with Genestealer Cult, like we saw last night. But Rock, oh, excuse me, chap. I'm still getting over a cold a little bit. I feel much better today than I did yesterday, but I still have a little bit of a congested throat, so I apologize if I do sound a little bit haggard today. But we have this no prisoners pickup is actually going to be a good one for the first turn because these Adelan Jackals are able to move so far forward, and we have a ton of seismic cannons in this big neophyte hybrid brick in the back here. That's going to be able to
I have interrupt stuff.
I guess maybe not so much take out these scouts because they are camouflaged, so they have lone operative. But the Aberrants can go in and knock out one of the scout units very easily, unless we see a reactive move from them. The Adelan Jackals can move in, take down another scout unit. So KingKungFury should be good to kill 2 units this turn for a nice 4-point secondary score on no prisoners. That assassination, though, is going to be a little bit unfortunate because he's certainly not going to get a chance to kill characters until around 2 or 3. And this list only has 2 characters in it to begin with, so I could see that being a new orders, or it might just be a burn right now. At least drawing it early means it's out of the deck, and as not a very strong secondary for you, that does feel okay. I think you'd much rather like a secure no man's land or a extend battle lines on turn 1, but not going to be the case, which is a little lucky for Agent X.
Okay.
Very carefully moving all of our neophytes. I think we're lining up seismic cannon shots onto the scout sniper squad, but you can't shoot them. KingKungFury might not be that verse of the matchup here. This being 10th edition, everything's new and weird, and having units with lone operative on them is very strange. That is some of the best technology against Genestealer cults, especially on these infiltrator units, is being able to make them.
Okay, I have a reactive move. I'm gonna use the scout move response here and spend a CP.
Ooh, using our adaptive or
See if I
squad
can save
tactics
them and pull them back.
to move the
Bigger
scout
than
squad
the two,
D6
please.
inches. 6 inches,
Yay.
hell yeah, okay.
Run away.
So that's going to be able to get them out of range to get killed by the Adel and Jackals since they've already moved.
That's after I move them.
Yes, that's after I move them.
So no need to move them.
Yeah, you can. This is before your next unit.
Yeah, okay, so then back.
So, yeah, Agent trying to restrict this no prisoner score on this first turn, which is very nice.
Stay alive, scouts.
That feels good.
No.
I was on my clock. I'll let a few seconds
Yeah,
roll.
no. Cool. Also, I roll a D6 if I'm starting with the objective, with the neophyte at the command phase, to take or 4 up, which not a command point. This guy was here, this guy was here. I think this guy was here. Yeah, just like that. Cool. So, okay, shooting. So these jackals will shoot the. Can I see him with him?
I don't think. Sorry, let me fix this guy. So we hugging the wall right there. Hug that wall. No, I think these guys are behind. He's behind the rune here.
Oh, yeah, okay. Cool. So these two jackals will shoot the whirlwind. First, the manic laser. I putting one objective marker. I think it's 10-1, correct?
Yeah, you have to play. You have to raise them. Which unit is raising your?
The aberrant.
Aberrant. Okay, I'll help you with measurements. It's 9 inches. So
I think,
you may want. I don't want to gotcha with this. I don't think you're familiar with the rule. You have to be
yeah,
within one to place it. I think you have to be within 1 inch. Trevi can chime in if he's listening. So if you need to move closer, I'm fine with that.
No, this guy says it.
Yes. So to place it, it has to be within 9 inches of the objective.
9 inches already. Okay.
Yeah, and you have to be within 1 inch to place it. So if your guys are slightly out, I'm okay with you adjusting.
Okay, then in that case, they cannot raise it. Maybe here.
Yes, I think that works.
Yeah. Cool. No.
I think that's a legal placement.
Okay. I will lock it if Kevin has a problem. So, manic laser to the whirlwind. Or 4 up. Yes. What's your toughness?
Toughness 10.
Okay. Manic laser is strength a lot. 12. Yep. The wound. It's epi effect.
AP, I rolled. What's your AT?
AP3. Yeah.
Yeah. He made the save. I rolled a 6.
Yes, and the launcher, it is. Come on. It's a fail. Cool. These guys are shooting everything with the snipers, except the manic laser will go to the, let's say, the Victor Jackal. So the manic laser.
Oh, I didn't pull back far enough. No.
Yeah. Yes. And yes. AP3 again.
Okay. Let's see if I get another 6. He has an armor. He needs another. I don't know if he gets cover. Let's see if he gets a good roll. Does not. He takes it.
Gamma is 6 plus 1. It's a lot of 2.
Good. I'll take it. Good job, Brand.
Yeah. So Ganek Laxer, the
Any secondaries that feel like they needed to look over? Yeah, there's some that I wish had more like fail states, where you can like score a lesser amount more easily. I think like investigate signals is probably one of them. Like maybe you score 2 points if you're wholly within the range to score investigate signals, or I could even pull the mission card up.
5 up.
Or 1 point if you're within it, but right now it feels like a dead draw unless you have a lot of like teleporting units, and best case scenario it's a 2 or maybe a 4, and that one just feels really bad to draw. I also think I'll die on the hill that I think Bring It Down is super borked right now. Bring It Down currently, if your opponent has no monsters or vehicles, doesn't score and doesn't achieve itself. So not only does it not score you any points, but it also doesn't leave your hand. So you have to burn it. You have to either new orders it or burn it at the end of the turn if your opponent has no vehicles, which is just a huge feel bads. I don't think any of the missions should be impossible to score outside of like table state stuff. If you don't have any models left, you can't get to the middle or something for area denial. That's one thing, but I think Bring It Down is a little bit unfortunate for that way. Area denial is also weird. It's like very difficult to score for some reason, and has a bunch of strange modes that it scores on. That one could use another look at, I think, for sure.
So two more. So it's because the Ganek
What's the
Laxer
AP?
gets
These guys only have a 4-up save, so it might be worse. What's the AP?
AP0. I will remove one. I will remove two because I roll two more dice. One room. AP0.
1 AP0. He's got.
Cool.
Wow, so actually not going to score no prisoners here for KingKungFury. So this is actually kind of a disaster of a turn. Doesn't really push back the screens. Doesn't really... we could see a charge from the Adelan Jackals. Their melee is okay, but it's not amazing, and so it's a little questionable whether or not you kill the scouts here. So he's unlikely to score no prisoners. He's unlikely to have really meaningfully prevented these screens from messing up his placement this coming turn. And this coming turn is the turn that KingKungFury wants to come in and sort of hammer all these vehicles. And if he's not able to do that, things are going to get a little bit awkward for the Genestealer cults. Now, obviously, the game's not over by any stretch of the imagination, and they still have, significantly more material to work with than Space Wolves will, because they're going to be able to continuously drop their reinforcements. But I think the ritual is maybe hamstringing KingKungFury a little bit. He pushed his Adelan Jackals forward rather than pushing the Aberrants, but he's sort of holding the Aberrants to deal with something a little bit tougher. And essentially meaning that he's not really putting any pressure on the Space Wolves right now.
Cool. And now they have the Kick the same unit, number of shocks. 6.
Bring It Down should default to the unit with the most wounds. I could see that. Then I think it a lot of times becomes, like in this situation, if you don't have any Achilles Ridge Runners, it just becomes Assassination with extra steps, because it hits the... a character at that point. But I think, honestly, if your opponent has no monsters or vehicles, it should just either cycle itself or complete automatically. Maybe complete for a lesser number. If your opponent has no monsters or vehicles, maybe you get 3. I don't know. But the fact that it does nothing and has no clause for that is a little bit insane.
Here.
Okay.
Looks like we're declaring a charge with the Adelan Jackals.
Number 7. That's number 7. Again.
Take a look at their melee profile.
Not really.
They are AP2.
Okay, that's the end of my turn.
Not gonna command reroll our charge here. So just accepting our fate. No prisoners. No assassination scored. Burning assassination for the command point.
Because I discarded.
I think it's at the end of the battle round, is what I was told, not the end of the turn. I don't know if it.
Okay, yeah. Cool, and I score no prisoners for 2 CP only. Sorry, I forgot to charge these guys to your guys, to the snipers.
Charge who? Here?
These guys here.
Okay. Can you go
Yeah.
through walls?
No, I have to go around.
Sure.
Sorry about that. Also, I forgot to do mortal wounds to you. Okay, good for me.
Oh my god.
So that's a 6.
I think he gets in.
He definitely come here.
Yep.
One in. Come here. One in.
No, I thought they were safe. No.
Never safe.
never safe.
Brutal. All right, Adeline Jackals, what do you got?
That's a 3.
That is an awkward charge. I guess they do have the engagement through the wall.
Jesus.
But we'll see if they have the beef to actually kill these guys. They have to get through 10 wounds, and they only have 2 attacks apiece. So you basically have to full convert. I think you're going to maybe just engage the scout snipers, but I don't think you're really going to meaningfully hurt them. And this unit probably gets picked up by the tanks, I would imagine. We also have these Inceptors. These Inceptors are raring to go, just knocking out an Adeline Jackal unit right off the bat. Plus, Bjorn the Fell-Handed has an excellent weapon at dealing with them. That Hellfrost Cannon on its dispersed profile is super duper good against these 2 wound mounted units.
These jackals all have power weapons. This is gonna hurt.
Yep, not all. The Wolfgang doesn't have. So I will start with him. 2 attacks. 1. Nothing. The rest of the guys, they have 2 attack 6. So that's 8. Lol. Nothing.
No, I'm alive. Okay.
Yeah. You guys
All right,
take
well,
I get 2 attacks each, hitting on.
those power weapons are just for show, apparently. We're not really doing too much here. We did, looks like, execute a wrap on a scout sniper, so he's going to have to roll a desperate escape check, but that is not the end of the world for Mr. Agent X.
2 wounds.
Pretty good. So I would say Agent must be pretty happy with how this turn's played out so far. He has a lot of work he can do in the center of the table. He can kill both Adeline Jackal units, put them back into Cult Ambush. He can take over the center of the table. And I don't know if he's going to be able to contest the newly created objective here that the Aberrants have made. I don't think he has a high enough OC value to do so, but he can at least prevent the Genestealer cults from building too many additional or holding too many additional objectives. Oh my god, and look at these objective draws, chat. Holy crap, are you kidding me?
Yeah, probably.
That's insane. So we've got overwhelming force and secure no man's land.
All right.
No way, dude.
What else do you guys?
Absolutely lucky draw on this first turn right here. So overwhelming force he's going to score by destroying units on objectives, which includes this Adeline Jackal squad right in the middle that he's basically... Bjorn the Fell-Handed here is just he's just ready to go to that squad. He's like, all right, boys, you ready to get Hellfrost cannoned? Let's go. All these dreadnoughts are staring down the barrel of this Adeline Jackal squad, ready to kill them. So that should be an easy score for Agent X. But then also he scored secure no man's land, so he has to hold 2 objectives in the middle of the table. Now that's going to be tough because he does have to push up onto this objective that the Aberrants are holding, but those Aberrants, if I remember correctly, are being non-battle line infantry, are only objective control 1. So what he could do, and we may see him just chuck his Lancer to the wind here, is throw the tanks and the scout snipers in to box the aberrants into their little corner so they can't move out. And it looks like we only have maybe OC4 there. So if the Lancer can get up into range of this objective, and we may even keep the Adolin Jackals alive for a charge phase, and then throw a couple scout snipers on that objective as well, then they're going to be able to hold that one down. And that should be an 8 to 10 point score for Agent X right off the bat. What a good secondary objective draw for him. And here come the Lancers trundling forward. Just like we talked about in Animander's game, these guys aren't very useful when it comes to actually dealing damage in this matchup. They can shoot the Ridge Runners okay, but it's going to be a big mistake if KingKungFury allows a Lancer to shoot at a Ridge Runner. These lines of sight through the center are super tight, and the Ridge Runners are indirect fire, so there's no real reason to allow them to do that.
Let's see what we can pull off here.
Yeah.
Dominance.
The comparison between
Nothing
these
else
two
has presented itself over there.
these two objective draws are pretty nuts. So it looks like we did actually clear out one Cyberwolf or one Fenrisian Wolf squad with the indirect fire from the Ridge Runners. They are running one of them's running a Survey Auger, so as long as it can shoot at the Fenrisian Wolves and kill them, and hit them, then we're going to be adding 1 AP and ignore cover to that unit. So the second one then is significantly better at shooting them in direct fire as well. So we did score 2 points on no prisoners for KingKungFury, but that's doesn't feel that great. No prisoners is usually a pretty good secondary, especially against an army like Agent X. So that was an inopportune time to draw it, because you would be hoping that you can score it more heavily. So it looks like moving the scout snipers forward. I almost wonder if we just throw ourselves into Devastator Doctrine this turn and just run everybody into the middle and start putting new objectives down.
Don't think I can flip that point for you this turn. So instead, we'll just move up.
Oh, Agent X doesn't think he can do it. Interesting. Oh, it looks like, yeah, there are 8 aberrants on top of this thing. Yeah, that is tough. I think the Gladiators are only OC3, so it's probably unlikely that we're going to take that one. That said, Secure No Man's Land might be one that Agent X actually holds on to, especially if his plan is to start creating new objectives in the middle. Because that's going to give him more easy scores this coming turn. But Overwhelming Force should tick up for at least 3 here. Bjorn the Feral Hounded coming in super hot. We're pushing the Scout Snipers up as well to try to keep him safe.
Pursuit. 14.
Dude's game is tomorrow, chat. We got Dude's game tomorrow, 9 p.m. Dude's versus Zach. The next one today is going to be Flashback versus Devin.
There we go. 2. So we'll go up 10. Over on this side, I have Mr. Ironclad. Into these jackals, yeah, he'll be fine too.
Yeah, it is interesting now that any unit can perform actions. So the crew inside the tank, like performing some sort of arcane ritual to create new objectives, is very funny. So right now, making sure that we have this 3-inch screen as far out as we can. Gladiator Lancer pushing up into the middle. Now, one interesting thing, and actually, Secure No Man's Land isn't off the table for Agent X, because, and this is a little bit of an odd interaction that is a little surprising to people who haven't played 10th edition tactical missions before. Both Secure No Man's Land and the Ritual, the Ritual mission,
Put a 3-inch bubble on him. Stop you from coming from
special ability trigger at the end of the turn, which means that the active player gets to sequence however they want them to move, to act. So when you do the ritual action, you then you then set up the objective, and then you can sequence the score of No Man's Land after you've placed the objective. So I wonder if what we do here is put this scout unit that's currently falling back right now into tactical doctrine so they can fall back and operate normally. And then you declare a ritual action with them, place the ritual objective marker down where they're in range of it and it's not being contested. And then because you'll hold the middle objective and the objective that you just spawned, score secure No Man's Land. So we're actually still potentially on the table for Agent X. He can't, for example, put the second Adeline Jackal unit squad on the objective and then score overwhelming force on it, because it does have to be on the objective at the start of the turn. It looks like he also passed his desperate escape check there. I guess we could also do this ritual action with these Fenrisian wolves as well. This whirlwind is so aggressive, dude. Oh my god. What are we doing with this guy?
$14 and one more. 15. Okay, that's as far as he goes. The others will get around him. Okay, those wolves are up. These guys now are going to make their move. Get the corner spot. Alright, that's completely blocked off. No one can get in there. Big bubbles coming up. Alright, I should have my backfield completely zoned out by these guys. Make sure I'm in coherency. Not in coherency. Coherency. Alright, these guys should be safe from shooting. This whole section is blocked off over to this side. They will advance my left infiltrators on this side. They have 8 inches of movement. That's 6 inches. Yeah, this covers the whole backfield at this point. We should be safe. We'll come in here. One needs to cover the backside. My back corner is safe. And then I just need coherency from this point. Let's just double check who can give me coherency. So he has coherency with him. Again, to be like this. Pull you back this way. And pull you on the backside. All right. Off the wall. I need more over here. All right, and all these bubbles, my backfield looks completely zoned out, I believe. Would you agree? The red bubbles should have everything covered.
Yep. Maybe here?
Here. Where? No,
Here.
this guy here. This guy here goes
Okay,
12.
cool. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so they're in coherency, they're safe, they can't get hit, bubbles are up. I moved on this side, I just need to, okay, I need to move units now to get me that bubble up. The Calidus will move here, and I'm going to do my own objective. If you could help me with an objective. Pull it this way. I'm going to move the Calidus to handle that. She moves 7. Let's see. Middle. Row 9. Something like that should work. Don't have anyone who can raise it currently. Caldas can go 7, and I think that's 1 inch to the objective. Can she raise it from there? No, I have to pull it back slightly.
Oh, chat, you might be right about the objective control at the end of the phase. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
All right, I'll have to pull it.
Given that I didn't know that rule until last night, so that's very fair. Yeah. You do only check for level of control at the end of each phase, and end of turn. I just verified happens at the end of after the end of the fight phase, so it actually doesn't trigger. Yeah, that's a good call out, actually.
So I'll have to put these guys here.
I definitely misplayed that for myself at least one time, not knowing that objective markers only check LOC.
Put this objective here using the inset.
End of the phase. That's a weird one. That's a weird new thing for 10th edition, but that's important to keep in mind. So good call out.
And then I need to get this Caldas move in. I will advance her. She doesn't have anything to do this turn. She goes 8.
Yeah, it is
not quite where I want
important to keep in mind that the home field objectives in this mission actually don't do anything. They are good for holding or extending battle lines and defending strongholds and capture enemy outpost, but they don't actually score primary objectives for you.
Good enough. I don't need to be touching objectives. All right, moved. I think I moved everything.
Okay.
That's for shooting. These guys are eligible to be shot because they pulled back. All right, let's start. Yeah. Let's see. So I will start with this whirlwind going into this Ridge Runner.
Okay. Does anything have line of sight to the Ridge Runner except, of course, whirlwind?
Yep.
No. The whirlwind has no line of sight.
Yes, indirect.
Yeah. Anything else that has line of sight to him?
I don't understand what you're saying. He doesn't need line of sight?
Do you have line of sight with everything else? No.
No, I do not. Just his indirect. And I'm going to put small arms fire the storm bolters into the jackals. Are you going to use your stratagem so I can't shoot him?
I'm thinking of it.
Well, we can't do that.
Yes, I will. What's the pin?
Okay.
That's infantry only.
I won't. Carry on.
Oh, that works. Okay. So storm bolters here, the whirlwind, and the return.
Yeah, that's one with darkness. We're referring to, by the way, chat.
We'll do number of shots for the +3.
Make you
mighty 4 shots. You'll be fine.
Ineligible to be targeted outside 12 inches of the target, so they have to select a new target outside of the attacker. But so they have to select a new target. But it is only usable on Genestealer Cult Infantry, which the Ridge Runner is decidedly not.
Okay, get 6.
Okay, and then the storm bolters into these guys here.
Just 2 shots. Yeah, it's actually in the core rules. The rule about end of phase objective control. It's in the level of control rules on the objective marker section, but it is also reiterated in the rules commentary. I just double checked there. Level of control is specifically stated as being checked at the end of the phase in the core rules, and then that's codified again in commentary.
Oh, good.
It is under.
All 4C? No, I think 3 shots.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, chat.
Wait, can I see anybody else?
Just find the
Actually, I have
page for you.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm going to hold off on these guys.
It is under objective control objective marker on page 4 of the rules commentary.
I'll start with Bjorn. Bjorn will put all his flamer weapons into the jackals. So I'll start with the Hellfrost. That's 2 damage apiece. Number of shots. 5 shots for that. Wounding on 3s. So there's 3 AP1 damage too.
Okay, so
And then the flamer is just 1 damage. It is 1 shot from the flamer. No wounds.
Gladius Task Force saves Space Wolves? I think Gladius Task Force saves Space Marines. Gladius Task Force might be like the second best attachment in the game, besides Battle Host, maybe. It is real good.
Guys left. How much OC is on this point? Not much. Oh, I have to kill you on a point. Dang it! I was gonna leave you guys alive. All right, this Lancer here will put everything he has into you. I'll start with the big guns. I'll do 1 at a time because I need a reroll. Hit. That misses. I'll go ahead and use his free reroll on that. Both hit. I'll do the wounds. 1 wound. I believe a 2 wounds. It's strength 17. So 2 of those guns. I don't know if you have an invulnerable save or not.
I don't.
Okay, so
Today.
4 from his big gun. And then his other guns, the rocket pod, I'll fire next. D3 shots. 1 shot. Hits on a 3. It wounds on a 6. The rocket pod is AP1 damage 2.
No more stealing
Felix?
objectives with Necron reanimation protocols.
Does the unit come back to life? It does.
The
Yeah,
bikes?
stuff that
Oh,
triggers in
not
the
good.
command phase can
Oh,
no
wait,
longer
bikes.
steal objectives from people, yeah.
So I need a token. Carry on. I'll
Wait.
find a token.
Do bikes have? Oh, they do have cold ambush. Okay.
Yes, we do.
We'll see. We'll see you again, bikers. We'll see you again.
Yeah, in a while. In a while.
In a while. Let's go ahead and I should have left them as 2 models. Let's go ahead and do the same thing over here. Let's see. I'll fire this Lancer into them. I think he has line of sight this corner. I'll put everything into them. So this Lancer is going to put everything here.
I will use this for a token.
Thanks for the clock check, chat.
Cool. So what you say, Cook?
Okay, so I'll do the big gun first, and if I miss, I'm just gonna roll 2 at the same time, and I'll use my
Yeah,
free roll
yes,
on
you
1.
made the reload. Yeah, okay.
Okay, both hit. 1 fails to wound. I'll reroll that. Okay, both wound from the big gun, so that's 2 should be gone. I'll roll the Icarus pod next. 2 shots from the Icarus pod. Both hit. I don't know if that wounds. Let me see the strength. Strength 8, so I think 1 wounds.
The cow is strength 8. Okay. Do I take a cover? I believe so.
Yes, you get cover. It's AP1.
Yep, saved.
Okay, and then all the small arms fire. It's all going to be the same. I'm just going to combine them. It's Iron Hail at rapid fire and Storm Bolter, so it's going to be 6 plus 4. That will be 10 dice. Hitting on 3s and wounding on 4s. So 5 more at
Damage 1.
damage 1.
Sorry. Okay, carry on.
Okay, so there's just a wolf quad left. Okay, I like that. This whirlwind is...
No, this guy is alive.
That guy is alive. Okay. So this whirlwind is going to fire and try to finish off the Ridge Runner, and he's going to put a Storm Bolter into these guys. So we'll do the indirect first.
So we're firing at the Ridge Runner with the spotter, not the survey auger. Not that it makes a huge difference, to be fair, because most of the Gene Stealer Cult units get ignore cover when they hop on the table anyway, but it does feel a little bit like we could be firing at the more useful Ridge Runner.
Reroll that as well.
The more support-oriented guy.
Die Ridge Runner.
Do I explode?
Okay.
I don't.
And then the Storm Bolter into your bikes.
Anything can advance and perform an action in Space Marines chat if it's affected by Devastator Doctrine. They can't do it if they are they can't do it innately, but you can adapt a strategy or declare Devastator Doctrine and get the effect.
My wolves kill you. Might happen though. I think that's all the big shooting. Big shooting here, big shooting here. Heading into charges. Yeah, we got to push these charges out. Let's go ahead and charge these jackals with the wolves.
Mm-hmm.
They get a 9. I'll base you from over here.
Okay.
I'll just put everyone around the top like this. Base.
If you are engaged, yeah, you can technically perform actions if you have a pistol weapon. That is the case.
Okay, they're in.
I don't know if any
if any
of the actions require you to be unengaged, but generally speaking, if you are eligible to be selected to shoot. So also if you're like a vehicle, for example. Yeah, I think that they just require that you're not battle shocked and you're eligible to shoot. Yeah, so if you can fire in melee, then you're engaged. You can do it. You have to survive, to be fair, for the most part. So if you die on your opponent's swing on you, then it doesn't matter. But yeah,
I'm close. Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Do I want to go in and play?
Ooh,
with
are we
Bjorn?
considering charging with Bjorn here?
Yes.
Bjorn and the Invictor Warsuit?
Fun time.
There are
Let's
interrupt
see.
command points available, which could be a little
You'll
scary.
get 3 attacks to the wall. So I can't base you. So let me just see how this works out. If I fight you from here, my understanding is you get 1 model, I would get 1 model, correct?
If you go there.
Because I'd be fighting you through the wall. We're not based, and since no one's
Yeah,
based,
but I will move afterwards.
Yeah. So you would get maybe 3 models hitting me.
No, more. Because I will come here, this guy will base you, this guy comes here, one from you.
So if I go like, do I fit? Oh, he might be too big for this, yeah, because he can't base me at all. There's no way you get 3 inches outside the wall, right?
You can just stand in the way there.
So you'd be hitting me with
that wall's
maybe
open.
3 guys.
You just go there.
I can base you.
Agent X, no. That wall's not solid. There's a gap. Go get a boy.
I think I'm okay though.
Yep.
See, I have also room there.
Oh, my mistake. I didn't see there was a gap here. Sorry, I thought it was a solid wall. I was looking at an angle. I didn't see that. So yes, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I agree with you. Yes, I was seeing it differently than it was.
Okay.
No, I will not do that. I thought it was a solid wall and I could get in there. All right, let's stop wasting time. All right, we're done with that. Let's go over here and do the stuff. All right, so we have the wolves going into these guys, and you put a wound on the wolfhound already. I see.
Yes.
I will start with the
See, I
wolves.
have
They
also
have
in
2
there.
attacks each. There are 5 of them. That's going to be 10 dice. I have 10 dice floating around somewhere. All right, 2 on 3s. I have not used them in combat yet. Strength 4, so wounding on force. That was not supposed to be erased. There we go. And wounding on force. There we go. 5 wounds.
One, three, and go 4.
Okay, so there's 1 left, and he will pile in. And the whirlwind cannot get into you, I don't think. Let's see. Is that engagement range for the whirlwind?
No.
I don't believe it is. So the whirlwind will stay put. So you get to swing back with your jackal.
Okay, 2 attacks. 2 dead.
All right. I believe that's the end of my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I have scored 2. So I did get secure no man's land and overwhelming force because I planted 1 and I have the middle. So I will go ahead and score 3. Yeah. So I score 3 and 5. It looks like. And I turn over to where's it?
Cool. I take one CP from the card I discarded
Yes.
from the previous turn, and now I roll one here to see if I take one for my nerf fight on 4 up. I do for one more CP, the turn.
Too many command points.
I hold 2, I believe. You hold more than 2. So I score, how many? This primary. I hold this one for the ritual, so I score 5. And
5 on power.
and for the mission, it is how many?
You get 5 for each no man's land. The home objective does not matter.
At all. Okay. Cool. We'll see. So secure normal land.
So a couple notes. We did run on your clock agent for 7, or on Dimitrios' clock for 7 minutes and 50 seconds. So we're just gonna run on your clock for a little bit here, Antonio. Also, an interaction that I've just learned is that the control for this objective only checks at the end of each phase, so it actually doesn't score for secure no man's land.
Which one?
It's at the end of the phase. That's not good. Okay. Well,
Yeah, so you haven't controlled at the end of your turn, which is after your fight phase is already ended. There hasn't been a phase for you to actually take the objective over, so you don't currently hold it, and then you'll hold it at the end of Dimitrios' command phase.
So it's not completed. You still have the card.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, which?
Okay.
Now I'm confused. Hold on, which one was that?
For
secure no man's
Secure no man's land, yeah. So you
Okay.
would only control this one at the end of your turn.
So okay, it's because control is not checked except for phases.
Yeah, control's checked at the end of each phase, but a phase hasn't progressed yet at the time you create the objective.
Okay. Does it get checked at the end of the firing phase and stuff? I thought that was. So wouldn't I have control of it after I spawned it?
You would
Spawning is
have
movement
it.
Phase, right?
The objective constructs at the end of your turn, so it's not within a phase.
I thought it was mid-turn. Sorry, my mistake. I've seen that.
No,
played
you
incorrectly.
declare it. Yeah, you declare the action in your shooting phase, and then you can't do anything for the rest of the turn. At the end of that turn, it's constructed. Yeah.
I understand. Okay, that is no good for me. So I get 2 because I took the one in the middle. So I get. No, I need to control 2. All right, that's rough. Well, I should control 2 next turn, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right,
so it still
I
completes, I believe.
Don't score that
for just 2 because you hold one.
I have to. Okay. Yep, all right.
Yeah,
so
it's the second. It's the second criteria.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sequencing of objectives.
Yeah. To be fair, I also have learned about this within the last 15 minutes. So we're learning so many new things today.
It's new to everybody.
Yeah, it's a new addition for sure.
Everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna unpause. I'm gonna run a timer on my end just for the time that we ran the clock wrong, and then I'll switch it over once we're good to go.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks. Okay, also I need a test for my Jackal, which I failed. No, the markers. Really? Cool. And,
All right, everybody.
So can I fall back now? I failed the test.
Crisis averted.
I don't remember.
Sorry, let me take these. These are dead. Anyway.
Yeah. If you fail the test, can you fall back?
I think it's one of those where you are in danger of dying if you fall back while battle shocked.
You cannot, correct?
I think you can. Trevor, you still listening? I think you can fall back while battle shocked, but you have to make that roll because you're.
Yeah, you have to make a desperate escape check if you fall back while battle shocked.
I can. Okay, because I failed the test, but okay. So I'll go here. Let's see. Okay, he has a movement of. That's the lock. Okay. Cool, this guy's there. Okay. So,
I'm sorry for the notifications chat. I'm misclicking all over the place right now. So we're back over to KingKungFury's turn right now. We have also secured No Man's Land and Storm Hostile Objective drawn for himself. Wow, we are nailing it in terms of those first turn secondary draws were not that great, but now we are sort of destroying it. Storm Hostile Objective is going to be really easy. Basically, all he's going to need to do is clear out one of these center objectives with either the Aberrants, or he could tunnel crawl a unit in to take the objective in the center away from the Gladiator Lancer. He could also... Ooh, we're going for the Invictor Warsuit. Oh, this is a little aggressive. He's going to try to keep a bunch of models on that objective, but losing out that OC value means the objective is in danger of being stolen, although I wonder if these Neophytes will push out. He is down one Achilles Ridge Runner, so less opportunity to drop crossfire on people with those heavy mortars.
mm-hmm.
And I like Agent X's plan here of basically just using his artillery to clear out all of the support units for the Genestealer cults. See if we have do a reactive move here. We could use a reactive move with the Invictor Warsuit, maybe?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and push these scouts.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and spend a CP.
Wow, moving the scouts. Okay.
Big roll.
4 inches.
4.
Man, squad tactics is so good. Oh, he's moving to the objective. So now the Aberrants have to turn around and potentially split fire, maybe, or split their attacks, maybe even move out of the terrain here if they want to deal with those scouts. Now, to be fair, if we tunnel crawl a unit into the middle, they're going to be able to pick up the scouts really easily. So I'm not sure how material this is for Agent X, but it also screens out a bunch of drops towards Bjorn here. We're basically trying to protect Bjorn from any of these charges. Is there a reason why it's defensive secondaries only? Not sure what not sure I understand the question. Chat. I would say Storm Hostile Objective, probably the opposite of a defensive secondary.
Are you dropping the hammer on me this turn, or are you holding off?
Sorry?
I said, are you dropping the hammer and bringing everyone in this turn?
I will try. I hope I will.
This is where everybody dies.
Yeah, but I hope there are your guys that die. Not mine.
One way or the other. This game will be
A
decided.
small but crucial bit of information.
Chris, surprised there's so much Space Wolves? Yeah, I think the T5S2 has always had an overrepresentation of Space Wolves. I think it's maybe just a community thing. There are a lot of very dedicated Space Wolf players in the T5S2 community. I mean, Animanor's one of them, who is in chat right now. Agent X is another one. And players who tend to have that single faction dedication do tend to be very good at that faction, so they qualify for invitationals fairly commonly. In addition, Space Wolves have always kind of had a real flexibility that normal Space Marines don't necessarily have. They're able to play usually a mid-range approach really well. And yeah, in this situation, I think Gladius Task Force is a real boon to any Space Marine army, and Space Wolves, because of the specialist units that they get, they have access to, are probably, you know, maybe the number 2 faction or sub-faction for Space Marines after Ultramarines, I'd say. The attacker and defender secondary decks, yeah, those are not different, chat. Those are exactly the same. The Leviathan set came with one of each, just so that you would have different like colored backing for the 2 different players. So it looks like we're going to be peeling these Neophyte hybrids out. I think maybe just taking some shots at the Whirlwind. They do get ignore cover when they deep strike in, thanks to Ascension Day. But not deep striking them into rapid fire range. This is really, really cagey play from KingKungFury. I think all the other Genestealer Cult players we've seen have just thrown everything directly into the meat grinder, and he's gonna try to keep himself safe from the return fire for as long as possible. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. O's Moment loses effectiveness in large games. That's why you got to get Gilman in there. Get 2 O's a Moment. We're going to flip the time over. Just an FYI, I'm flipping the time back to you, Demetrios.
Okay, yes.
Zachary Crum, how's it going? Thank you for coming and hanging out. Hope you guys are enjoying the game so far. This has been a cool one. This is like, you know, some very strong technical play from Agent X here, I think, which is what you need to do against Genestealer cults. And it looks like, are we not tunnel crawling this unit in? Maybe we're going to tunnel crawl an Acolyte hybrid unit and just keep the Neophytes back. It probably still kills the Gladiator, right? I assume so. Yeah, it definitely helps when the it's not 2 identical armies with very similar list constructions fighting each other for sure, chat. I think we'll probably have to come up with some sort of system to differentiate mirror match armies if we get mirror matches again in the future. We might enforce a coloring on one army, or maybe like warm colors and cold colors on their highlights or something. To try to avoid that situation like we did last game, but it definitely was it was hard to read for sure. I definitely understand that. Yeah, game's going pretty well as well. Yeah, or you know, time's moving quickly. A lot of game actions being taken, but it's still fine. So looks like here's the tunnel crawl. Yeah, I think we're screened out here. Awkward part, right? If you tunnel crawl onto this objective, do you just get killed by Bjorn, though? That dude's flamer is no joke. It's probably unlikely you wipe the unit, to be fair. Oh no, we're putting them out of range. Whoa! What is this cagey play? This is not Genestealer called play. What faction are we watching right now? Eldar?
And these are all just regular deep strikes, correct?
Yes, until now.
And no surprise, but when you do your
shirts. All your guys with your t-shirt saves. You gotta take those off, dude. Only those bare-chested, muscle-bound Neophyte hybrids on this table.
This guy's, yes, because the barrel of his gun is sticking out.
Okay, how many guys are
Bad scout. Don't stick your barrel of your gun out.
Good tree line of sight.
He should be like this, but he's not like that. He's like this. So yes.
Okay, thanks. Cool. Likes. And one CP
For what?
for the to give striking things from you.
Oh, here we
I
go.
have found my unit here.
Oh, the Invictor Warsuit also may be in range for a Overwatch if we tunnel crawl too
Every time
aggressively here.
So I'm activating the Calidus.
And here's the Calidus Assassin. So we have the stacking Vact active on tunnel crawlers now.
Okay.
So it's going to cost 1 CP the next turn, or 2 CP, 1 if we Nexus it.
Yes. I want to be outside of him 12.
Okay, so escaping from Bjorn, that will probably put the Invictor Warsuit out of range, yeah, and they're gonna steal the objective away. So secure No Man's Land
There's
should
too many
be
bubbles. Sorry, I'll just give you a mission.
should be online for KingKungFury.
Everywhere.
How have we decided to handle towering? We don't have any special house rules on towering, but as you can see, the ruins are very big. So we've basically just constructed large true line of sight blocking terrain to try to mitigate towering. It's definitely still an advantage. You can definitely get good lines of sight across the table with it, but at least your opponent has safe zones on this terrain. We did have some tables with even larger ruins to try to block towering, which I think were actually, a little bit more interesting to play around, because they also obstructed a lot of movement. They made your movement really sort of difficult, or not difficult, but like you had to be clever with it. But we ended up going with the USO layouts instead.
Let me see.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Let's put the time on. You said your movement is over?
Yes.
Okay. I will consider a rapid ingress. Let me see if there's a good spot to land.
No, outside 12 of him.
Yep, that's fine.
Wow, this is aggressive. Ingress onto the objective to try to steal it for secure no mans.
Let me see if there's any good places I can land.
Could be a charge target for the Aberrants, but it strings them between the Inceptors and the Invictor Warsuit, so it could be difficult.
These guys can charge. And they have many tools. They hit a bit better.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, they do have.
For
They have a good
attack,
weapon.
taking on fish, curve 10, epi 2, damage G3.
And only one guy has that kind of weapon. Right?
Two guys.
2 guys. Okay, I'll have to see. So let me see where else I could potentially drop.
Yeah, so we have a melee Acolyte unit here setting up to attack the next turn. So that is a good call out. I wonder if KingKungFury even considered this potential that the Inceptors try to steal that objective away to block secure no mans, but if he does so, these Acolyte hybrids actually has a pretty significant chance to pick up that unit, since this is one of those weird situations where you could potentially be charging after your own deep strike, but an easier charge because your opponent ingressed. I've never seen that happen before, but certainly could be the way to how things work out. These Inceptors, though, they do get to come in 3 inches outside enemy units, outside the clam of us, obviously.
What's the range on these guns?
Because of that meteoric descent, which makes them very powerful in this matchup. They can disrupt enemy positioning. They can clear out called ambush tokens potentially.
So I could drop this way and be safe.
Yes.
All right. And you can charge these 2 guys if you want. If you don't, I have freedom of movement.
Have in mind, I think you are in 12 of him. I can use the Mortal Wounds ability. It's 12 or 9.
Okay.
Let me double check.
Okay. So he has a 12-inch bubble.
12 or 9. Let me double check that.
It's definitely 12 for the remote detonate explosives there.
12.
12. Okay.
Yeah, so I can do GSC plus 3 mortal wounds.
Okay. So where's his? He's the orange line?
Yeah, that line.
Okay, so I have to debate where I want to come in here. I think this is worth making you do charge rolls. It's fine. It's a long charge. You want to go into mine, Victor, or you can party with my guys over here.
It would be wild if we get the majority of the GSC knocked out round 1 here, chat. Definitely, I think it would be a slap in the face of everyone crowing about how strong they are.
The point might be better. I think I need
But
to save
that
the point.
does mean that people are the faction being strong means that people who are hopping on them without necessarily a ton of experience, and also everyone's preparing for them. So it is sort of the faction being really, really good is you are kind of liable to have a target painted on your head.
I know if it is by plan or by accident.
I need to be aggressive. I have to. I have to be aggressive. Otherwise,
Famous last words.
Famous, yes, famous last words. I have to be aggressive with my move. 7.8, so. Over 3, 8 to charge, over 3, 8 to charge. He needs to be slightly back more. All right, I will commit to that. You have a long charge. I'm down. I can't shoot or anything, but I'm in position.
Okay.
All right, back to you.
Cool.
So I think that the fact that the Acolyte Icon Ward is available for KingKungFury is kind of forcing Agent to be a little bit more aggressive with his Deep Strikers than he normally would be, because a lot of times you want to save those guys for when they can come in and really disrupt the Cult Ambush token drops. But in this situation, because at least one of those ambush tokens is going to be is always going to be respawned, and we can protect at least a couple of them in the back over here. With the Clamavus, the Inceptors are less useful than they were in previous games that we've watched. So I think Agent is just going to use them to try to disrupt his secondary scoring from his opponent.
For 9. For 2.
So demo charging.
Not covered AP1.
AP1? Okay, so one guy takes it.
Oh, excuse me, no.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, not him.
I think we're just flamering.
Cool. I will pay 2 CP for this unit and this unit for +1 to wound when I shoot your Lancer, because I want to get.
So coordinated assaulting
Let's see.
on the Lancer. May see a Vect from Bjorn.
All your units are on the table? No.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I will go ahead and deck that one with Bjorn. So from now on, that will cost you.
So vecting the
so that will cost you an
coordinated engage, not
Okay, cool.
perfect ambush,
Okay, awesome.
which I'm not sure I super love, but there are a lot of vehicles in this army, so +1 to wound is really useful for all these guys.
For 9 again. On 5.
And I will say that the double Vect in the Space Wolves list here is actually kind of really good anti-Genestealer Cult technology, because it really starts to put pressure on those Nexuses. A lot of times Genestealer Cults get away with getting like 4 or 5 free stratagems per turn, and being able to Vect a couple of those means that suddenly a lot of that turns off.
Yes, 2 damage in total. And now how do you call it? Come on. What the fuck? Welcome. the special weapons, and I will pay 1 CP for +1 to hit. I should have taken it, never mind. Okay. So they have the charges, D6 +3 for each, there are 2, for that's 7 plus 6, 13. Unfortunately on 5s, it only once. Okay. And
good reroll.
float to 6s, because I came from Deep Strike. And it's strength 12 with
Only on
+1 to
threes.
wound
Only on twos.
on 2s. It only once because I'm the objective. Or I am the objective.
Acolyte's going crazy
Yeah.
here.
So that's 7, EP2 normally, EP4 because I'm from Deep Strike and I have. No, let me double check something.
Did you say AP4?
No,
We're at AP3
it's
right now.
let me double check. Not before, sorry, I messed up that.
Yeah, I didn't fire his Ridge Runner first. A little bit of a mistake, maybe, but I think it's probably fine that it's likely this Lancer goes down anyway. I think we'll probably crossfire the Whirlwind instead, I imagine.
5 dice worth of
But
damage.
no cover. EP3 no cover.
You said AP3 or AP4?
EP3. EP3.
Okay, so same on
no
6.
cover. Yeah,
Roll 2 6. So 5 go through. How much damage?
2 damage 6.
Alright, you kill him. He just purely. Does he explode?
Oh, just one
Does not
shots. Oh my god, those demolition charges are so strong. Holy crap, dude.
I will give them +1 to hit at a +1 EP, and they will shoot the Whirlwind. Except the guys with the pistol will shoot the wolves. So, 16 attacks from the cannons. Hitting on 4s, I believe. And they only everything from the Nexus. So the hitting on 3s, they only everything. On 4s, 4s, they only everything.
Did we use Perfect Ambush on the Acolyte hybrids or no?
Yes.
Okay. Do you get it again on the Neophytes?
The perfect ambush works is the +1 EP.
The +1 to hit, yeah, and +1 AP?
No, I didn't use it.
Okay.
Yeah. I used the +1 to wound.
On the Lancer, yeah?
On the Acolyte and the Hybrid.
Right.
And the stocks are lost because they have nothing to shoot.
Right.
Cool.
But we didn't use +1 to hit and +1 AP here?
Yes, +1 to hit, +1 AP here.
Is on the Neophytes. Okay.
Yes. So, rolling. Cool. 6 inky, exploding. On 5s. For EP 1, 2. No cover.
Okay, take 4. How much damage?
G3. That's 4.
8.
5, that's 8. Yes.
Okay,
Cool.
down to 3 wounds.
Yep, and the Lancers. 4 shocks. Do I want to roll everything? Give me a sec. Lancer. Okay. Toughness.
On which one? Lancer?
The Whirlwind.
It's T10.
T10, okay. So on 5s again. 2. EP3.
Say AP3? Yeah, he's dead. He failed. 2 damage, right? Or is it more than 1?
It's 3 and something else. And 3, 6
He is
in
dead.
total.
3 and some other number.
Does not.
Rowan's down?
And the small arms, they're going to the wolves. Okay, so 12 guys. With 5 explosions. That's EP1, no cover. Did you take any saves?
They get no save. Save a save of 6.
Yeah,
So they're
okay, so they're dead. Cool. So no work to shoot. And last, my no line of sight guy here will shoot this guy. Oh, never mind, I will go with charges. So,
Yeah,
charges.
can't shoot them.
The acolyte here will
All right,
charge
big charge.
your inceptors.
Do we get an 8 here?
I need an 8, I think.
8.
Not like that.
No.
Reroll?
Cool. My aberrant.
No, just accepting it. All right, fair enough.
We'll go for the inceptors and the invictor.
Okay.
A 6. Two.
Yeah, so it was some hefty losses there. Lost a Lancer and a Whirlwind, but that's essentially all the Wolves have
One guy
lost so
has
far.
to stay here.
We do have another Inceptor unit and Fenrisian Wolves in Strategic Reserve. I guess we've lost 2 units of Fenrisian Wolves as well. So beyond the vehicles, which is a huge blow, to be fair. Losing the Whirlwind is unfortunate. I am a little surprised that Agent X was so aggressive with it and not just kept them in the infiltrator bubbles. I wonder if you might consider that a mistake. But
So, to the inceptors.
it isn't like staggering losses so far. It is generally a relatively elite list to begin with, to be fair.
Okay. I have exploded 6s.
Oh, look at this roll.
This, back for explosion.
So I think we see Murder Fang in a competitive list. I think so. I like Murder Fang. Especially like a rapid ingress Murder Fang has the potential to be really disgusting. You have to, he's like a one-shot wonder, but he probably kills whatever he touches, which is almost anything in the game probably dies to that guy. Unless it can one-shot him in the swing back, but you can sort of be selective with your targets. I do think Murder Fang's another really strong include in Space Wolves, who just picks up the Inceptor squad. So I wonder if Agent was a little bit too aggressive there, but we'll see if these guys can knock out the Invictor Warsuit. I think they probably can because the Abominant's here, and that dude has a laser cannon for a hammer.
EP2 to the Invictor.
No. Did not work.
Yeah.
He does not explode either.
Oh, yeah,
These
it
are
goes
3
down.
damage apiece, correct?
Yes.
I like the idea of the Inceptor drop there, but I don't know if that was... They were probably never going to survive the Aberrants.
So I will move them closer to them, or to the objective. Not that matters, okay. Cool, and do I have anything else? I forgot. Not really. And,
yeah, I think the hope was that the Aberrants would be incentivized to charge the Inceptors instead of the Invictor, so you're just sort of pulling focus from the Invictor. But I don't know if Agent really understood that they can split attacks between 2 units and probably just kill both because that brick is so powerful. Sustain 1 on all their attacks from the Aberrant's really nice, or from the Abominant, excuse me. You don't often see that guy. You usually see the Biophagus, who's a little bit less supporty, but the Abominant dramatically increases the output of this unit. I really like him. Scoring behind enemy lines and cleanse this turn. Behind enemy lines actually should be easy for Agent X. He can drop an Inceptor squad next to the Achilles Ridge Runner and grab that. Cleanse also should be not too bad because he can cleanse the midboard objective over here.
All right, well, I can get behind enemy lines is doable. Doesn't really get me much.
Yeah, even Custodius bricks, you know, we'll potentially get fight first against them, but if you're not running like full reroll guys, right, like just wardens, they actually probably bounce off. Even on the fight first, right? Because they're wounding on 4s for 2 damage, half of which gets ignored by the 4-up Feel No Pain, so they actually don't even kill that many, and then the Aberrants just clock them in the head. Yeah, Aberrants are really, really strong. Cool to see them back. They were so bad in 9th edition. Just unplayably trash. But really cool that they're very playable now.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Well, I don't think I'm cleansing. I'm running out of bodies. These guys can go 6.
Cleanse
they
the
can try to
Calidus
cleanse.
Assassin.
You have 3 bodies on there.
Have in mind I have many flammers.
Yes, I understand. It will not be fun for me.
Yeah.
Get rid of the last Ridge Runner. And you're going to get bikes in this corner.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun. The Scouts should be able to kill a single wound Jackal. You guys. Is cleansing no man's land or anywhere?
Let me check.
Not within deployment zone. Got it. I have to be out there. So I'll get maybe 1. These guys can't advance and shoot, correct?
Which guys?
These guys.
No.
No. Okay, so you'll move 6 at most. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to oath him. Do I need?
Now, interesting interaction here. Killing the Ridge Runners here is good because it reduces the incoming AP value, but that does open up that interaction we were just talking about earlier, where Bring It Down potentially blanks if Agent X draws it later on.
And who has the flamers over here? You said. Yellow
So
squad?
every unit has 3.
Torn between Wardens and Guard. Yeah, I mean, I think it is really cool that both of them are basically equally between Warden's Guard and Alaris Terminators. All 3 are basically equally playable, and I think a good list is a combination of all 3. And I honestly, like, hands off to the Games Workshop design team. They've really created a situation where a lot of your base infantry is all sort of competitive with one another because they have different unique abilities, and I think that's a really good example of it. It's not now that you either only take Wardens or you never take Wardens, which is how it was previously, and now it's actually a decision to make.
I don't think I need to advance and shoot. I don't think I need to advance and charge. Doesn't really get me much. Where does nice advance rule gets me? Advance and shoot might be worth it this turn. Just push deep into your lines. You get your 3-inch deep strikes. That's fine. All right, I think I'm going to go Devastator Doctrine so I can do advance and shoot.
No.
That would be the plan. So Devastator Doctrine. Let's go ahead and push this tank forward because I need to kill stuff. Let me just double check what I need here. Behind enemy lines.
Yeah, I think Wardens are a little bit better for like 1 unit of them is good for opening the fight because they can survive a shooting phase fairly reliably from most factions.
That's all right.
So you're not really like worried about they can run into a center objective and you're not worried about like losing it. unless your opponent dramatically overcommits, and then you're just walking into a meat grinder for the most part. And I think wardens are good for that. But I wouldn't take like all wardens. I think at the onset of the edition, people are taking 2 or 3 units of wardens. I think that might be too many, but
start thinning out this. No. Let me play this move. He has an 8-inch move. It's on the point. Okay, Bjorn can get in here. Answer. No, I don't need to waste Devastator this turn. He goes 6. Puts him on top of the tank right there. From there, he can see those guys. See those guys. No, I'm not going to use Devastator Doctrine. I think I'm just going to stay in no Doctrine for this turn. I don't need it. I can't get what I need to get. Let's just push him forward. Can you give me a 3-inch bubble?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, not 3. 1. I meant engagement. I gave you the wrong
Okay.
number.
You are okay here. Only this guy. And, yeah.
Okay, so I can push. I can push up like this. That's not a problem. Do your aberrants regenerate or anything like that?
Sorry.
Do your aberrants regenerate wounds or models?
Yes, on 4-up. My character on 2-up as well, but not with the unit.
No, I mean if I kill a model, can you bring them back?
No.
No. Okay. So if I do this, I have line of sight. So help me with line of sight here. I want to shoot into them while moving forward as far as I can. And because you're touching terrain,
You have to go to be, I believe, in that line.
okay, that's fine. I'll take that.
Yeah, it's definitely doable.
Okay, I can do that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to put 2 big shots that way and the rest of the shots elsewhere. So my intent is he has the line to shoot. I need to get these scouts to cleanse something.
I will say we've kind of created this metagame where these tanks operate in sort of a realistic fashion, right? We're using these tanks as line breakers, but if you don't give them appropriate infantry coverage, then the a bunch of maniacs with like sticky bombs end up blowing their tracks up and incapacitating them. It kind of just makes sense. It's a little fun.
These guys have to move. That's a 5-inch move. You guys move 6. So you cannot get the angle on me. You can charge me, but you can't get the angle on me. 6-inch charge.
Did you score any primaries this time?
Did I what? Primary? Yeah, I have this primary.
Okay.
Thank
For the score.
Six. This guy needs to go back. 5. I'm going to be going away from you this way.
So should be getting
8-inch charge.
In terms of secondary missions, probably 3 VPs from a single behind enemy lines, unless we see we do have a Primus in this unit, I believe. So you have to worry about an Overwatch from these guys. They are a little scary. Could drop, I guess not. Probably not over here. Could try to drop out of range, but it's going to be tough to get inside the deployment zone and deal with the Clamavus. So I think that is a little bit scary. You might lose an Inceptor squad dropping into an Overwatch. Cleanse probably only comes in for 3 victory points. So Agent X remaining competitive on secondary score, but he is losing material very quickly.
Mina, this is my second time ever playing it, so.
Once bottom factions get help, this addition will feel very nice. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, right now the biggest issue with it is imbalance. I don't think there's any real like, insane mechanical problems. I think the cover rules in line of sight and like towering and stuff are dumb, but it's not. It doesn't make the game unplayable. I do think once the imbalance is mitigated a little bit, it'll be okay. So Inceptor's actually dropping in over here, not worrying so much about the not even going to try to get in on the Overwatch there.
That is not what I want to do. I got to plan out their move better.
Oh no, we're
I know what I
moving the
can do. I can
Inceptors.
move him up. He's fine. 6. Maybe I just fire into. Maybe it's. Yeah, I think I commit to abominants this turn. That's what I'll do. Alright, your abominants are this way.
Yeah, the overcharged plasma is going to be nice on them.
It's past the command
Don't
phase.
know if we've we've put Oath of Moment on the.
Are you okay with me
Ridge
moving the
Runner.
oath, or do you want me to lock me in because it's the command? I'm past the command phase.
No, you can move as well.
Time would be fine if it restricted to
think I
any units
need
within
to.
24. That would be a good restriction. I mean, I would rather we have less mechanics that interact with true line of sight rather than more, but I'll take a compromise if I can, I guess. It is a little frustrating to play against towering and have no recourse to losing models.
They will advance because they can still shoot. I believe these are assault weapons. Yeah, they're assault weapons. So I get a good roll. I can end up in here. If not, we'll see what happens. All right. Assault weapons, go ahead and get in there with some abominants. 5 gives me movement.
Inceptor's making use of those plasma weapons, the assault plasma.
I know all the abominants will be alive. I've heard their survival, their durability. We will witness it first.
Okay. They're not that good.
We'll witness it first.
Let's see if Bjorn the Fell-Handed gets stuck in here as well. Bjorn and that Ironclad Dreadnought really want to punch these dudes. The Ironclad Dreadnought with that huge like D6 plus 2 damage attack is a pretty good chance of probably killing two aberrants on the swing. Demetrios does have, or KingKungFury does have 2 CP for an interrupt if we do decide to commit into the unit. But don't know if he'll spend it here, especially since all his good strats are vected now. Towering should be like the 9th indirect roll, where you get like -1 ballistic skill and stuff. I don't know if that's really the issue. Like the problem is that the singleton big units that are good at shooting don't really care about, cover or AP penalties.
Not scoring any of my secondaries for
They'll most likely kill whatever they like, one thing that they have line of sight to, and they are expensive, so they don't kill that much. But on the flip side, they do end up attritioning their opponent pretty effectively.
I think I can cleanse this objective.
So we're going to try to cleanse the objective the aberrants are on. It does complete if, at the end of the turn, if Agent holds the objective. So if he can kill enough aberrants, he can complete that cleanse. Right now he has 6 OC on it versus the aberrants 5.
So I currently have
or versus the aberrants 6. Oh yeah, he has 7. So he's currently holding it.
They will do the cleanse.
If he charges the aberrants, things could go poorly, because they could then pile into these units, but that is up to him. Bjorn moving on that line to shoot at the Abominant as well. He's going to shoot that big 5 damage Hellfrost gun.
All right, that stuff.
Not going to melee though, it looks like.
Well, the Whirlwind can't really help me out with what's going on over here.
Can I see this guy with my flamers?
Oh, how many flamers do you have in there?
3.
That line of sight's tight.
Yeah, you can technically see
But
that.
you can put them outside of 12, maybe? Because I have them there.
You get to shoot me before I move. So I was...
you got it, because I thought...
I'll put it back to you so you can think about it. So if you want to overwatch them, you can shoot them before they move or after they move, but they're in range.
Okay.
I don't know how many have line of sight, but they're in range, so I'll let you go ahead and evaluate that.
Wonder if that would actually
So if I
change. If we see the Overwatch here, that would change agents' moves. It's a little bit after the fact, obviously, but that could potentially take away the CP he has to interrupt, and that might encourage Bjorn to move laterally this way to go around and fight these guys.
Number of shocks.
Yeah.
9 of fives. Well, 4.
I would maybe consider, because Bjorn moves 8 inches, right? So he could potentially walk this way and maybe get himself like a 6-inch charge around that corner. Or if you kill enough of the scouts, you could get a charge into one of these guys, assuming that KingKungFury doesn't pull them. 2 scout snipers go down, so he's going to lose control of the objective until aberrants die. If he can kill down enough aberrants, though, it'll still matter.
Put it back on
It'll
me.
still flip to him.
All right, I need to figure out what I'm doing with my whirlwind. Things need to die. Lots of things need to die.
Take a look at what's
Just
in
too many.
reserve for KingKungFury. It looks like only 1 Acolyte hybrid squad remains. So could see a demolition drop onto the whirlwind over here to try to take it out.
Come back everywhere. Let's see.
Someone could say that this is a pretty broken rule.
Maybe intentionally, yes. Just cool. All right, let's see if I can pull this off. All right, whirlwind, you're going in. I think I moved my ironclad. They're slow. He's not catching up.
Yeah,
All right, I
did
think I
maybe.
moved enough units. We can do what we need to do. This is not looking pretty. All right, let's go into the shooties. These scouts need to kill this jackal before he becomes a problem. Please
Get him
go
with
away,
the
jackal.
So
infiltrator.
that's the end of your movement phase.
Oh yes. Oh, you have rapid ingress. Yes, I forget. I probably left you a big giant hole somewhere.
No, not rapid ingress. It's the objective. The how they call it? The unit
I'll
that
put it
come
on you.
back from dead.
I'll put it time back on you so you can deploy. Tell me when you're done.
Yeah. Cool. In fact, there.
Oh, good. All right, I'm going to fire my snipers into your jackal here. 3s. All hit. I assume 4s. I don't know what your toughness is.
Okay, dead.
So he's gone.
Do I come back to life?
Oh,
I
do. One jackal destroyed. So just immediately respawn.
Let's go with the other ones. We'll go with
Actually, I will
Bjorn.
play the marker here.
All right, so I'll do the ironclad. Yeah, ironclad. He has good angles. He's not going to kill me. Okay. Bjorn is going to fire his heavy flamer here.
Okay.
And his big gun is going to go into the aberrants. I believe he has. Yeah, he can do 36-inch range with that. The strength 9 gun. This way. So he's going to do a big shot here and heavy flamer into these guys. On the
Yeah, I think we're gonna get maybe 3 or 4 aberrants here. I imagine. I don't think we get too many unless we roll super good. It's not too many units shooting at them. If we were going into melee, I think you'd lose a lot more. If we were trying to get the 2 dreadnoughts in, but the dreadnoughts are moving into the middle. Interestingly, I don't think we actually need to shoot these acolytes. I think you need to clear out the yellow acolytes first, because Bjorn can charge them and kill them pretty easily. And then if he gets a big enough charge, go around the side like this to base these guys, and then consolidate into this neophyte brick and lock them in combat, which would be huge.
All right, it does wound. So 1 giant wound into the aberrants. It's
Damage?
3. It's 5 damage flat.
One dead.
Just burns 1 dude. That's some frostbite right there, my guy.
5 shots.
Low.
2 wounds into these guys with the heavy flamer.
Epi.
I believe it's AP1. Double check. AP1.
Cool, I have. No, good dead. You're OC more than me.
Yeah, make that charge a little tougher.
I will kill them. It doesn't matter. I will move Cool. To get, carry on.
All right, let's go with the Lancer, pumping everything into the red squad here.
Yep.
All the guns. We'll
Mhm.
start with the big guns first, and if one of them fail, I'll use the free reroll on it.
Yep.
Oh, I don't need a free reroll. I have
Yeah,
Oath of
you
Odin,
have
sorry.
oh.
The oath is going on. Yeah. So the 2 misses, I need to roll it again. One big gun fails. That makes me sad.
Missed
hits.
a Lancer shot there. Ooh, that's unfortunate.
3, that's 6 damage from
Blips through. Should
Yeah,
vaporize an aberrant here, and so unless we
it's
see a
plus
big
6,
spike on the
so
piano
just 6
panes.
total.
Dead.
Oh,
That's not a
just
dead one. We'll
vaporizes
do all the
that
small
dude.
stuff. Rocket pod, number of shots. 1 shot. Misses on a 2. Free rerolls. Hits on a 4.
Yeah, the difference, Chad, is that aberrants don't have a 4+ invulnerable save. That's they want to. I think they want to limit access to good feel no pains and good invulnerable saves because that has sort of a multiplicative effect. I think is probably the design intention. Nergomat, thank you for the kind words, dude. I think it came out real nice.
AP 1.
5 up? No, damage 2.
It is damage 2. What's the -1 to wound coming from? Sorry.
From the if I have a character in the unit, it gives me -1 to wound. If your strength is higher from my toughness.
Yeah, that's the new transhuman effect, as we call that.
Yeah, so she's reminding me as I'm firing into you, yes.
So
other stuff. The Stormbolter and
you wound me on force, yes.
So it's going to be 10 for the small arms fire.
Mm-hmm.
On 3s, we roll that. Wounding on 5s. Okay. 6 more saves.
AP?
AP nothing.
Look.
Clips a guy out with the Hurricane Bolter. Let's go.
The Ironclad will put everything he has into the aberrants.
No.
Let's see. It's going to be.
We're getting work done here, chat. We've killed 3 so far, and still have the Whirlwind to shoot, and the Inceptors. We could get close to it.
Reroll because of Oath. That's too many ones. 100 killer. It's AP enough to get through your stuff, I believe. AP 3. So
okay, damage.
My dice are not like it's a single damage. Okay.
Only 100 killer went through for 1 damage.
Misses on a 2. Reroll a hit. That's too many low dice. That fails. Oh, sadness. I also have my Hurricane Bolters. That will be 12. I believe you're in rapid fire range.
Well, maybe I spoke too soon, chat. That was some really bad dice for Agent. Let's go, Hurricane Bolter. Get him.
Yeah, I guessed right. 3s. Rerolling. And 5s.
Those moments, a hell of a drug right there.
7 more.
7 wounds out of 12 shots into an aberrant unit. 3 go through. We'll clip out that last guy. Open up a good hit for the Whirlwind here. All right. I think it's likely that we steal this objective back. At least contest it.
The plasmas. Let's go ahead and put the plasmas. I'll put the plasmas and I will overcharge into you. So 6 shots.
Unfortunate part here would be if an Inceptor blows himself up with the plasma overcharge. That will actually remove an OC from the objective, so that would make it more difficult for Agent to steal that.
6. That's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I can lose 1 or 2. I think I can lose 2 and still be okay. Yeah, I can lose 2 to devastating and still be okay. Yeah, so it's worth it. All right, here we go. Hitting on 3s. Reroll the misses. And wounding on 3s becomes 4s because of your ability. All right, those are 4, 3 damage apiece. So that will be. I'll switch over to you so you can manage your feel no pains.
So 12, 3 damage is correct. AP3 at least on this. 1 dead, 2 dead. Sorry, 1 dead because he has 2 left. He takes 1 and he dies from the second. 1 dead. Yeah, my final pains were good.
Very good, very good. All right, I need more stuff to die.
Oh yeah, that was a lucky roll to to roll those fatal pains in. So this wound put a guy down to 1, and then he ate all 3 damage from the second one because he made entirely out of 2 sets of feel no pains. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Did wound another guy? Oh no, yeah, didn't wound anyone else. 1 Inceptor dies,
I think that's for characters.
and
kills the model.
that didn't go so well. I think Agent was hoping to get at least 1 more Aberrant out of here.
All right, I still have the
Now
point.
he still has to kill 2 to contest the objective, and 3 to control it, or 2 to control it, 1 at least to contest.
I really need to be killing models. This is not good. Not good. Not good.
I think he needed Bjorn to get in here and maybe charge. That would have been,
We're running out of bodies.
the game plan there, because Bjorn does half damage and ignore on 5s.
I will put everything I have.
So he's actually pretty resilient against the Aberrants weapons.
Into your Aberrants, because that is the primary target this turn.
Okay.
Hunter killer first. Hits. Wounds on a 4. That's a fail. It does wound.
Damage?
It does
Oh, the second 1 damage Hunter killer in a row. Are you kidding me?
I take it.
Oh my god.
I will do the indirect. Oh, sorry, it's actually direct since I'm right in front of your face.
Yep.
6. I'll take that. That gives me 9 shots. You are still a large number or no? Let's see.
I'm 6 guys, I think. Yeah.
I get +1. All right, hitting on 3s. Reroll the misses. When you on 4s.
Yep.
Okay, those are all 2 damage each. I'll give it back to you so you can manage it. 8, 2 damage.
Okay, this guy is in cover. How many? 8. Okay.
That was a good shot. That's what we needed.
Okay, this guy on 6s. No failed. So the 2 damage 6. Another 8. Feel no pains. Good. He's good. He dies. 1, 2, 3. And 1 more dies.
Oh, did it. We did it exacties, chat. Stole the objective back, so cleanse should complete here unless something wild happens.
And then the Stormbolter, 4 shots.
And Agent X, hopefully, is a little bit happy with that. Really reduce the power of that Aberrant unit.
Reroll all misses.
And with Oza's Moment still on them, they have to be a little bit careful about triggering Overwatches as well.
2 more.
Because they could eat another shot from that Whirlwind and really
All right. What do we have left?
potentially get plowed down
Are going to be trouble.
if we get a good roll.
That's fine. All right, I've shot. These guys are doing nothing.
All right, Bjorn,
We're
let's get
running out
stuck
of
in, my guy.
options here. Let's see. You're too far. I can't get in. Bjorn can't get in. Oh, we're heading to the charge phase. I'm going to charge Yellow Squad with my Lancer. You want to do Overwatch or anything?
No, I already use my skeleton. Go ahead. Remember, they have the 2 good weapons, these guys.
You have 2 good weapons? What?
Yeah, the Manic. Strength 10, AP 2, damage 3. For attack.
So you don't care if they die and come back, basically.
Yes.
All right, so angle myself slightly. All right, I'm in. Good, he's in, if you're okay with that. And I think that lets me still drive down the alleys. Yeah, he's still wide, narrow enough to go down the alley. All right. Bjorn is going to charge into Green Squad. 7.
No.
He will be right there. I would love to charge with this, but nothing is in range.
Yes.
Right. Let's go ahead and swing with Bjorn. Bjorn gets his 3 claws. 6 claws.
1 CP. I almost wonder if you tank shock that hybrid unit just to clear it out.
Hitting on 2s.
This is probably fine.
I'll hit. Only on, I assume 2s.
Yeah, they did.
All 6. You don't care. They'll come right back.
Guys into soup.
Yes.
I think So I believe I'm allowed to move because I'm on the objective. I can do something like this.
I need
Okay.
to talking.
Are you listening?
Yeah,
Vito?
yeah.
I believe because you can consolidate on the objective. I think this is legal. Just double checking with you. You agree?
Yeah, I don't know. Cool, I will use the talking here. Carry on.
Don't think I can get to these guys if I was trying to. Yeah, they're too far away. So I'm just gonna try and reduce the shots that comes into me next turn.
Yeah, that would have been great to engage that neophyte squad. That would have been a pretty solid turn, I think, if Bjorn had locked in that squad and prevented it from shooting. Right now, just killing acolyte hybrid units is not super relevant because those guys are just going to continue to respawn off of the tokens.
One use a guy. This guy. Cool.
That's fine. He will stay touching. That's fine. All right, I believe that is my crazy.
No, I have to fight back.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I totally forgot my guys for behind enemy lines. Oops.
So, was guy based? This guy?
Oh, did Agent not even drop in
Yes, I'm based.
his Inceptors? Oh, he left them in reserve. Oops. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's a big mistake. I think he got a little bit tunnel visioned on getting the cleanse down here, but didn't even bother to drop his dudes in over here. And to be fair, oh man, he got overwatched as well. So the overwatch was offline for this unit. Oh, that's a huge mistake. Ooh, boy. Yeah, that's that one's gonna that one's gonna come back to haunt him, I think. Those Inceptors could have dropped down without even having to worry about being shot by all those seismic cannons. And then maybe could have picked off a couple of neophytes for their trouble. Oof. It's going to be an oof for me, dog.
Can I move like that?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think so because you're going towards the objective. These guys are based, but these guys can move.
Come on.
So you do have to move towards the closest enemy model, so they have to move towards the Lancer.
Okay.
Oh, it takes priority. That's right. It takes priority.
Yeah. So we stay here. Cool. And okay, my turn.
Okay. At the end of my turn, I want to discard this one for CP, and I score the cleanse.
Okay.
So I get 2 objective markers cleanse. That should give me. I think that's the full 6. What's it max out at?
Should be 5
5
for that.
So I get 5 for this. And this is getting junked for a CP, so I'm going to add a CP. I will hand it over to you.
Cool, I scored 0 in primary. I will roll 2 dice for CP. Okay, but I will take only 1, of course, for my neophyte.
So overall, I think it's a solid turn from Agent there. I think he would have been a little bit happier if he had killed or engaged the neophyte unit here. He's going to have to eat shots from basically all 3 neophyte units, and he didn't really do anything to mitigate them. Shot down most of the aberrants, which is good. Keeping that unit small is solid without killing them to prevent the respawn. And knocking his opponent down to 0 primary is good. The problem is, I think, forgetting that that Inceptor drop is really going to hurt. Just leaving secondary objective points on the table is very unfortunate.
This guy, Bucketshop, they are not okay. But do I care? I do. 1 CP to pass the Bucketshop. So remove 12. Okay. Cool. Okay, I mean,
So draws for KingKungFury here. Looks like we are on Teleport Homers and Defend Stronghold. So I guess not the end of the world that those Inceptors have remained in reserve, because they are threatening the Stronghold. We may see a little bit of a reposition on the Clamavis to ensure that that can't be scored. Oops, excuse me. The Deploy Teleport Homer might be a little tough, especially with the Infiltrators screening out the entirety of Agent X's home field. I think we might have to see tunnel crawlers on the Acolyte Hybrid Squad into the center. The scary part about that is that Bjorn the Fell-Handed has 2 flamethrowers, and this man is not currently engaged in melee. So if we see a tunnel crawler drop into 6 inches of the center here, I guess it could maybe go behind the wall and be immune to Overwatch, potentially. You just have to worry about that Calidus Assassin. She does have a pretty good Overwatch, but I believe it's only D6 shots. Yeah, so it's not that great. But it does mean that you have to be pretty careful where those guys end up. Looks like falling back with the Acolyte Hybrids.
Did you going to do anything?
Who is falling back?
The Acolyte.
Yeah, I think I need to kill you because you're going to take the point from me if I don't kill you.
Ooh, so baiting out the Overwatch with the Acolyte Hybrid Squad, see if we can get him with Bjorn to flip the control, but then I think we'll see Tunnel Crawler, excuse me, jump back in the middle. That will cost him an extra CP, because it is vected by the Calidus Assassin.
I really, really, really need to keep this point. Otherwise the game can get severely out of hand. Let's see, so I will Overwatch like this.
So one guy.
So the first is the Flamer. 2 hits. One Flamer hits them.
Save it. AP1 or 2?
It's AP1.
Save it.
So
It's cover. Yes.
Ganker. Okay. And then the other one is D6 shots.
Heavy Flamers ignore
2. It's not. Oh, thank you. I didn't know my voice. That's 2. Come here, dice roll.
It's an unfortunate roll here, especially because these guys are OC2.
Yes. Kevin, can you pause? Because he's...
Oh, yeah. Looks like we got a desync. Go for it.
Yeah. He wounds me on 1. Okay. No? No. He wounds me on 3.
Should be strength 6. Yeah, it should be 3s on the T4. Yeah. Oh, Bjorn, you silly goose. Get better at shooting.
Cool. What this guy's dead. Okay.
Do you have you can continue your movement phase, yeah?
Okay.
I think that
Check.
Oh,
am I back?
You're back. Welcome back.
Okay.
Let me reconnect to the game.
Yep. We're just gonna continue the movement phase while you're getting back in.
Sure. I don't know if the roll went through for the other Flamer.
It did not. You rolled a 1
hits.
and a 2, unfortunately.
Yeah. Or fortunately, it depends if you are just killing. Okay.
Unfortunate roll for Agent X there. 2 big flamethrowers. Rolled 2 2s for shots and then 1s and 2s for wounding. Or for, doing damage. These Acolyte Hybrids got off scot-free from Bjorn the Fell-Handed.
What the heck is going on?
Yeah, you have some...
I just got booted from the server. I think the gene seals have infiltrated my network.
Yes, we will win by all means.
They're pulling computer cables out.
By any means necessary.
Keeps disconnecting me when I choose a color, Trevi. Never seen that before.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Might need a reboot, maybe?
I'm gonna close the yeah, I'm gonna close it out and come back. I'll be right back, people. Disconnecting.
Okay. Cool. You guys move. And I have gift card. And I have. Yeah, I think I will. I think he vected my thing he keeps crying. So I'm 2 CP now.
Yep.
Okay. He already used overcooked stuff. So no problem there. Okay. I can come. Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to drop these guys in the middle here. Complete that teleport homer. Unless we're going for a demo charge drop.
Okay. Demolition guy.
Oh, I think we are. Hold up. Really?
So I will think. Yes. Yes. Cool. And all that time I played back against maybe 1 second case, like 1 to do an action. Αυτό είναι κρύα, αλλά αυτό δεν είναι εκεί που κάτσε όσο κάνω. Μεσέ.
Alright, I'm alive. Well, I was gonna say I'm alive, but I see gene seals everywhere. Not a pleasant sight to return to.
Cool. So I use my strategy to discard the guy's 2 inches. 3 inches.
It costs.
Sorry.
It
2.
should cost an extra. Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
And they will do the action on the second CP. Shooting. Sorry, I have to remove these guys. So, shooting. This guy will use for 0 CP the stratagem for the bombs. He will shoot this guy. So 6 guys on 4 up, I think. I don't remember. Or maybe 6. Give me a sec. Maybe I'm no. Grenade. D6. I go for okay. D6 guys. For 6. Okay, I knew it. 4 guys. You take 3 mortal wounds on the guys here.
On which guys?
from the saboteur to the instructors.
Okay, 3 more wounds. They lose a model.
Yeah. Cool. Now, let's start. Here, I will shoot the lancer. So the 24, the cannons on 5s, reloading everything.
Oh, who's shooting my lancers? These guys?
The red squad.
Okay, that's the only thing that can shoot the lancer, I think, line of sight. I will use the armor of
These
contempt.
guys can as well.
Armor of contempt. He'll have an extra AP.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I forgot to use my. Okay. Oops. So again, rolling these dogs like the force. Okay, and on 5s, that's AP1.
Okay, it becomes AP 0 since the stratagem,
Yep.
so he has 3
Yeah,
ups.
because
2 damage. How much damage apiece?
GC
D3, okay.
for 2. Cool. And now I will use the rig gunner, so I take +1 to wound to AP, which I forgot to do first. For 6, for 5s, 1, nothing. And now I have +1 AP. Sorry, the lancers to them as well for lancers with that +1. The lancers are on 4, yes. 1, AP2, so AP1,
4 up.
GC.
Do I get cover from this? Do I get cover from this or
Yeah.
no? So he
No.
would have made the save with cover.
No, because my guys are here. These guys. That's okay.
If you can't, his back of his model is on this side. I don't know. I believe it's if you can't see the whole model, right? Doesn't essentially everything get cover?
I don't know.
The Ridge
Right,
Runner
I'll give him the
grants
wound for
ignore
now.
cover, right?
Sorry?
They ignore cover, right?
No, they didn't come this turn.
But the Ridge Runner grants it, yeah?
Yeah, but I forgot to shoot it first.
Oh,
No,
okay. This is against the first unit. I see.
Yeah. So
would he have the wound back then, Trevor?
no, they don't ignore cover yet.
Okay, so I'll
Cool.
put it back up to 2.
Now these guys are shooting, and now I ignore cover because I shot in the middle with no wounds to my rig runner. So the cannons 24 for 5s, 1 epic 2 ignore cover.
It's not that exciting.
That
We have
becomes
a shot.
AP1 with my strat, correct?
Let's go,
Yeah.
Lancer. Just survive
Okay.
everything.
Cool.
Survive.
Lancers. No lancers, flamers. 3 flamers. Okay, for 4. Wow. 2. On your 3 up.
1 damage on the Lancer.
1.
Okay.
Cool. 1, 2, 3 guys and grenade launcher there, the other to the other guy. So the seismic 12 for 5s, rolling.
Who are you firing at right now?
The kill squad to the lancer.
The Lancer, okay.
The kill squad there. So 1, AP2, ignore cover.
1 AP2 becomes AP1 with the strat. He fails. How much damage?
2. Okay, and the grenade launchers. 1, AP3.
Fails that. How much damage?
GC for 3. Cool, and 1 to the character for shots.
Hold on. What's firing? What's firing?
The same squad, one weapon was out of line of sight, is shooting the beyond.
Okay,
Two.
I have reactive. Hold on. I have reactive strats I can use. You need to let me respond. So I have a strat I can do that gives me -1 to hit me. I can smoke and cover. Does this unit ignore cover on Bjorn?
Yes, ignore cover.
It does ignore cover. And what are you hitting me on?
No, I don't. Sorry, I
Okay.
don't.
So I'm gonna give him his defensive profile. He gets -1 to hit and cover. So that's my
Okay.
last.
So again, on 6s, rolling 1, on 5s, nothing. Cool. Here.
You're receiving the benefit of cover. Is there ever a reason to pop Armor of Contempt? Yes. They're not the same thing, essentially. Armor of Contempt reduces your armor penetration characteristic, so if your opponent has high AP stuff, it's going to reduce their stats. If it reduces them to AP 0, it can remove the benefit of cover from yourself, but if they're AP 2+, then you'll get both, essentially. You'll reduce them to AP 0 at that point. So it just depends on what their profile is.
5s. 1, AP1.
So not really, but the Vected strats here really hamstringing Demetrios' ability to use his offensive strats. We're basically just flailing at these big tanks now. Seeing this sort of power of the double Vect from the Space Wolves list is really interesting, and especially because we are getting a little bit time crunched. This is top of battle round 3, so we're not at the end of the game here. And a lot of the Gene Stealer Cult game plan is going to be acted very quickly from now on, but I do wonder if we just basically stop attacking at this point and just try to dominate primary as much as we can.
No. The missile hits. No. I won't bother with this. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and charges. Now. So the aberrant will charge the lancer, the inceptor, and the scout.
The aberrants here are charging the lancer.
Yes.
And this. Okay.
I believe it's double. Yeah. With a 5. Give me a sec. Actually, it isn't.
I will take that lucky roll because I'll take any swing of the game I can get.
Okay, what a fail.
That's awkward.
My blue squad will charge the
Out of
inceptor
CP to reroll. Needed a 6 because the wall was physically blocking the charge. In range to get into combat with the Inceptor, but we have to get into combat with both. That was probably just a mistake, declaring both targets, honestly.
The Jackal will charge the Whirlwind.
Trying to engage the Whirlwind now. 7 inches should be good, yep.
I think. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so the thing with the saving throw modifications is that it is well, first of all, Armor of Contempt doesn't modify your armor save. It effectively gives you +1 save, but it does that by reducing your opponent's armor penetration. So if they're AP 0, Armor of Contempt doesn't do anything. But the other thing to keep in mind is that the maximum of +1 to your save characteristic is cumulative with your opponent's armor penetration, which reduces your saving throws. So you can never get more than +1 to your save, but if you're minus a bunch, then it doesn't matter. To be fair, though, there are very few effects in the game right now that actually improve your armor save. Cover's basically the only one, I think, currently. So that clause actually is kind of meaningless currently. So we are running a little bit low on time here.
And these guys will charge the scout.
These are a lot of charges. that KingKungFury is currently acting.
No, yay!
He's gonna make the charge here.
Finally.
It does feel like
God, did not like that.
needs to act pretty quickly now. I think we have Tactical Doctrine still on the table for Agent X as well. So he can probably just pull out of combat here, take a quick turn, and then pass the turn back over to his opponent. He needs to clear off all the Acolyte hybrids and deal and retake, or he's currently contesting the objective in the center. So he doesn't have to do anything there.
Cool. I'll move these guys. Base.
Currently locked to 0 primary, but yeah. KingKungFury has to act quickly, and I think he's taking a lot of blank action right now.
So let's touch him and him. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
what are you doing right now?
7, 8, 9 guys. Sorry.
Was that your was that your pile-in?
Yes.
Or was that your first move? I thought you couldn't pile in if you couldn't get
the
engaged.
piling.
Okay.
So on how much? Guys on KQ. No, too many attacks. 9 attacks.
Oof.
Cool. 2. No IP.
Hold on a second. So when you were moving your units for pile-in to the back, you have to end in engagement range for pile-in.
It is.
You guys are not.
Him. It's him. Sorry. Yeah.
These are all these guys in the back.
Yeah. So 2 wounds, no IP.
Engagement range checks for the unit.
2 wounds,
if the
no
unit
IP.
can end engagement range, then you can pile in.
Oh, thanks, Trevor. No IP? Failed 1 wound.
No. Okay. Cool. And here, I won't bother attacking. After works, I will move 3. No, that's not 3. So there, cannot do anything else. And here, and fight back.
Okay, where am I fighting back?
Anyway you want, I finished.
Did you make their attacks into the whirlwind?
No, I won't bother.
You have to. You have to swing.
Okay, 2 attacks.
Time. I don't want to. Time is going to be an issue. You may clock out. So
Nothing. And here we go for 5 guys. Nothing. Nothing
Okay,
here.
I'll do the whirlwind back into you. On 4, so those all miss. Scouts, I have how many scouts over here? Lots of scouts. All right, we're gonna make sure we're all in engagement range. Pile in. All right, all 5 get to swing. They get 2 attacks each, hitting on 3, so 10 dice. Threes, wounding on, I assume 4s, so 3 saves.
1 tick.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I swing back.
Cool.
I swing back with the Lancer next. 1 second.
Oh, okay.
3s. I think it's -1 to hit because it's damage, so it's hitting on 5, so nothing there. All right. My fighting back is over. Back to your turn.
I'm finished. To you.
Okay.
Sorry, what guys score? I did the first call for I take 3.
Stronghold and signals. Can I get
And
Stronghold?
signals I take.
Stronghold, completes at the end of your turn, or at the end of the opponent's turn. So that will hang out for.
Right,
So then I messed up. And
Yeah, it's
sorry.
should be
And
this
the
one.
airport Homer, I put the book back.
There you go.
9 inches of a battlefield. All right, I need some
And
signals here, boys. I need some signals.
Homer 85, correct? Yes.
Are you,
Teleport homers should be 3, I think, because you did it in the center.
Isn't it 5 is fixed? If it's tactical?
I need
No,
to
it's-
roll shock for the Inceptor.
I see, yes.
Yeah.
The Inceptor is shocked. He doesn't count, and I need to roll for these scouts. The scouts are good. All right, so I don't have this unfortunately because the Scepter would not have, it wouldn't have mattered. You had 3 people on the point, but he is battle shocked. Give me a token for that.
So no primary for Agent X here.
That was a big fail. Yeah.
He's
All
scoring
right,
out.
my turn. I need to figure out what I'm going to kill.
Also defend stronghold. That's a tough one, and investigate signals also a tough one. Those are going to be difficult. He can hold down the fort here by putting the Calidus assassin there and surrounding her with infiltrators, so you can't put tunnelers onto the objective. Although I think KingKungFury is actually going to be out of CP to deploy tunnelers now. Not to mention the fact he's out of things in Deep Strike as well. So KingKungFury right now is he does need to do a little bit of damage here, but I think it's likely that he if he can clear out the scout snipers and the Inceptor, there's going to be very little that sort of contests this neophyte unit on this objective, and he could just sort of chill there and then respawn with cult icons.
I understand. Thank you. I need to get.
So I think he definitely has the time to complete the game actions that he needs to. He basically just needs to sacrifice all of his attacks for the rest of the game. I don't think he's really going to be making too many attacks now. Maybe just killing these infantry, and then swarming these 2 objectives with models. And he basically needs to just continuously out-OC everything in these 2 objectives. And if he can do that for the rest of the game, then he should win on primary. But it's going to be close. This is going to be a tight finish here, chats. So I hope you're ready for some super fast 40k.
Blast you off this. Blast you off this. You're not coming back here. These Inceptors have to move out. You have how much CP next turn? You'll have 2. That's not enough to do your thing.
I might have a +1 for my neophyte.
Your neophyte? Okay, got it.
Yeah, every time on objective I roll 4 dice, on 4 up I take CP.
Okay. So I think I need to fall back. Shoot. No, I can shoot you regular. I don't have to fall back to shoot with the vehicle, I believe. I believe I can just fire it to you if I want. Falling back gives you a chance to overwatch me with what? Flamers? I don't care about that. Falling back would give me a chance to blast those guys. That might be worth it. Falling back lets me fire the whirlwind. Is there anything I need to shoot? Not really. You guys can't really hurt me immediately. Okay. Let's go tactical doctrine. Let's get tactical doctrine. Okay, tactical. These things all here need to die. That's fine. So tactical lets me fall back and shoot. If I fall back here, what do you have that can shoot me? You said
this guy.
Flamers?
No, they have cannons, but I roll everything to hit. These guys have the demolition demo charges and flamers. These guys have 2 flamers.
Okay. Demo charges are where? On the outside here?
Yeah. D6 +3 or 6s, but if I hit, it's a big one.
I can live with that. So if I fall back here and go back in, there's no problem. Not really shooting stuff over here. Okay,
I can shoot with them, but all of them, but okay, yeah.
Are they re-rolling everything or no?
No.
No. Okay. So I'm going tactical doctrine. I need to finish off these aberrants. They need to die. So I'll leave re-roll everything on them. My whirlwind will pull back so it can shoot, and then I'll charge back in afterwards. So just enough to fire.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see over here. What am I trying to score? Stronghold, I should be okay. I need to investigate signals. These guys need to come back. I double check. Is investigate signals wholly within the corner or just within? It's wholly within 9 inches of the corner. Okay, we can do that. This side of the battlefield, I don't care if you come in with reserves, do I? I slightly do. Alright, this might be a job for the wolves. Come in, wolves. Get a corner. You guys are fairly tied up. Run back here. Score here. What's the max on this? 4, 5? 2 each. Cap at 5. How many points do I get? No, I can go over 5. I can get 6 for this. This is worth doing. This corner doesn't matter. I have this. You have anything in reserve? No. What's your cult units? A unit of bikes and a
This
unit of.
guy and
I think we can, chat. I think he just has to give up attacking, basically.
this guy.
He'll make a couple of attacks, and that should be about it. One thing that Agent could do here, and he actually might, is stay in melee with a lot of his units to force his opponent to make attacks on him.
I'm going to advance the squads.
But those, hopefully, we can resolve those fairly quickly, and he can, if KingKungFury just prevents or just sort of cedes his pile and consolidate moves, just elects not to do those, he can actually resolve those in a couple seconds. So I think what's likely to happen is that he clears out the Space Wolves on this objective, and he just swarms these 2 objectives with models so he can continue to score primary. And I think that he has enough beef that if he just keeps running units onto these center objectives, then he can potentially prevent Agent from scoring enough to win the game. So it's certainly not over right now. It's definitely it's gonna be tough, but he's definitely
But I rolled a 6.
It's gonna be close.
They had tons of movement.
So we're advancing these guys into the corner to score investigate signals. Yeah, Agent X has to score every single point he can. I think he's probably kicking himself for forgetting his his behind enemy lines last turn. That would have made this score look a lot more tenable right now.
We need to start pushing up. No one has flamers to worry about here. These infiltrators are going to go crazy. These wolves will. I think they need to come down here to score.
Ooh, wolves out of reinforcement, strategic reserve.
They can do actions.
And we could also potentially put a Inceptor squad in the back here to do another investigate signals as well. And then again, all we have to do is put the Calidus Assassin on this objective, kill all of these Acolyte hybrids so they can't jump in on that objective, and then we'll score Defense Stronghold as well. Well, maybe he's not that sad about the Inceptors staying in reserve. Oh, just kidding.
I think I need to hammer.
It looks like they're jumping over here. Oh no, yeah, they're there. Yeah, we're just gonna get to the investigate signals. So he gave up 3 on behind enemy lines last turn, but he's at least getting 2 for investigate signals for those guys. So that's pretty solid.
No. I can with this guy, but you don't care.
Yeah, I don't think I care because they just need to survive. I think that's fine. So roughly there, they can do investigate signals. So I'll have signals there.
That's going to be a big score.
Here. That should be 6. Defense Stronghold is the other one.
Yeah, we'll actually put Agent slightly in the lead unless KingKungFury can steal his home objective.
Do I have to be on my Stronghold to defend it or just keep you away? What's the requirement? If you control in your own deployment. I have to be on it. Okay. So these guys have to go onto it. Oops, I moved a little too far. It's go time. If you want my corner, you can help yourself. Alright, they're on that point. Calidus doesn't need to move, she's going to fire there. These guys are firing into that. Dreadnought does need to go up. If you want to overwatch me, you have permission to overwatch this Ironclad. Would you like to overwatch him? Get demo charges and whatnot.
No.
No? Okay.
No?
There. Fine. This Inceptor is fine. He can stay here and shoot. Ah, these scouts are.
I actually think that the time pressure gets actually a little bit tougher on Agent X here because he actually has to roll out a bunch of attacks to kill these models.
Caldas should be able to clear this.
Whereas KingKungFury, I think, is less worried about actual casualties at this stage of the game and more so about just holding down the table.
You can do what?
My apples.
Got it. Yes, yes. Okay, so I want to put the clock on you for that. Yep. Let me know when you're done.
Sorry, I'm very lucky.
That should give me 6 for signals.
Cool, done.
Okay. Let's go to firing. I will start with the whirlwind.
Yeah, so if you run out of time, you
you
can't make any more game actions. So you pause the clock to take saves, and stuff like that. But you can't make attacks. You can't move models anymore. You can't use stratagems. Basically, anything that would require you to make decisions and make plays is turned off for you. But you still score your objectives passively, which is why I say that one thing that KingKungFury is probably going to try to do is just force his dudes onto the center objectives. And
I think you're standing on cover, if that counts. So yeah, AP1.
Okay, save one.
And try to overrun them to score points passively.
Becomes AP1. Save on 6.
Yeah.
It's AP2 base.
Yeah. So 5, so that's 10. On 2, 1 dead. Is the game wounded? No, 1 dead. And 1 takes 1.
Okay. Go ahead and fire the Stormbolter. Time back on me.
I guess a downside of the aberrants is that it does take a while to resolve their
I'll hit. Only on 5.
their saves because of all the ordered rolls you have to do.
Over to you.
Takes 1 more. Sorry, no, that guy. Good.
Okay. All right, we're gonna fire. The Calidus here is gonna fire everything. Her gun into your Acolyte hybrids.
Mm-hmm.
Number of shots, 6. That's 5 devastating wounds into your.
Happy?
I believe it's devastating. Let me bring up her rules real fast. She has anti-infantry 2.
Do I have AP?
All right, Neural Shredder is AP2.
Yeah,
any 2+, any wound of a 2 up is a critical. So
okay. Deck?
precision. It's also precision if there's a character in there.
No character.
No. Okay. All right, so she cleared them off. That's good. Bjorn will fire his. Can you see anything? You can only see these guys.
Okay.
Bjorn will fire everything into these hybrids. I'll start with the regular flamer. 1 shot. 1 wound from the regular flamer, and this is the Hellfrost flame.
Dead.
1 wound from the Hellfrost flame. His flamers are not doing too good. Okay. I can see this way with my Dreadnought. He is within.
So 1 deck, correct? Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and pull your model if you need. Okay, back to me. He's going to fire, my Ironclad is going to fire everything into your Abominants over here.
Mm-hmm.
So he's Melta and his Hurricane Bolters. That's going to be Melta first. How much does someone have a wound?
It's Gamemat
Yeah,
1.
I'm doing the Hurricane Bolters first, so 12 dice. Take that off. All right, hitting on 3s. Roll everything. Wounding on 5s. You roll everything. All right, 4 saves. No AP into you.
Saved. Wow.
Okay. And then
Melta?
is Melta. Yeah, Melta. It's wounds on a 4 because you're -1 to wound. It does wound. It goes
Gamemat?
right. Right through for another 6. Come on, big number. 5. 5 wounds. Back to you for feeling no pains.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. I have my scouts who can fire. Bjorn fired. This fired. The Lancer's going to put everything it has into this. No, because that frees you up for your turn. I don't want that. I'm actually okay. He's not going to fire. Can a vehicle fire out of combat, Trevi? I forgot the rules. Can I fire at a different target?
Yeah, it gets -1 to hit.
Totally fine with that. -1 to hit is cool. I'm going to fire. I have everything I have into these. Can I see this squad? What's this? Reductus Saboteur? I can. Do I have line of sight to him? Yes. Yes. Please, yes. Okay. I'm going to take out the Reductus Saboteur.
Cool. And for 1 CP,
like easy line of
I will pass the mortal wound to the unit on the
Sure.
side.
Sure. I'll
Trevi,
start with.
it is for if I fail a big gamma 6 weapon, it is D6 mortal wounds or 1 mortal wound.
Are you asking how the ability works?
Let me double check. Where are you?
Do you want me to pause?
Yeah, I've paused it.
If I lose
Unquestioning
a goal, select one friendly card unit in 3. Your character model are not lost by goal. The selected unit suffers 1 mortal wound instead.
Right. So for each damage that the character takes, it transfers a single mortal wound over to the unit. So if the Saboteur would take 9 from the Lancer, you would take 9 mortal wounds on the Neophyte hybrids.
Okay. Do I want to take 9? I will. Yeah. Go ahead. I will use a strategy for 1 CP. Yep. Ion.
I've unpaused.
So you're absorbing the wounds? Okay.
Yeah.
So the big guns into him. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Everything into this unit, so it gets transferred if you do it. All right. Starting with the 2 big guns. I'll reroll.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a benefit to KingKungFury because any wounds to the Neophyte hybrids, he can then respawn thanks to the cult icon in the front here after the movement phase. So it actually sort of gives him more OC on this objective, which is all he really cares about at this stage, which is why he would use that stratagem.
Damage is -1 to hit, but he's getting -1 to hit for firing out of combat. Is it still capped at a -1 to hit total?
Correct.
Okay, so those both hit.
Interesting interaction with the damage characteristic. If you have
both of those have hit,
penalties to hit baked in, then the damage doesn't do anything essentially because you can't stack to more than -1. It does the supersede hit bonuses if you have them, but in this case, it doesn't matter.
There you go. So 7 + 6, 13.
13. Wow. Okay.
That loyalty is for sure unquestioning. These neophytes just cutting their own wrists here to keep the Reductus Saboteur alive. Oh my god. Needs to keep the cult icon alive. He doesn't really care about the heavy weapons at this stage because I don't think KingKungFury is going to be making any attacks for the rest of this game.
3 shots. 2 shots. Hitting on 4s. Both hit. Both wound. It is AP1, I believe. AP1.
No, damage 4.
Yep, 4 more damage.
Oh,
okay, I should have left the guy die.
Yeah, maybe this is a mistake actually. Yeah, you can't assume that your opponent's gonna convert with all of their laser destroyer shots, though. To be fair, especially with -1 to hit.
14 hitting on 4s. No rerolls here. And wounding on, I assume, 4s or 3s. I don't know what your toughness is.
1.
Your toughness. All right. So you're still alive. You're good.
Yeah.
Might have been a mistake there from KingKungFury, though. I like the idea. It's a good strategy, like a legitimate strategy there, but that might have been too much damage on the Neophyte Hybrid squad. I think he was expected to lose maybe 10 or so, and then respawn a bunch of them. Respawn 3, but losing 18 is a lot.
Hit. Both wound. 6s. Go into your stuff.
No, damage 4.
Damage 4.
Takes 1.
And I have my Inceptor here. He will go ahead and fire into the Aberrant. He will fire regular. I don't want him to die. He'll just fire regular. 2 hits. 2 wounds. That's 4 damage total. Back to you.
Okay. Does the unit come back? It does not.
Yay! The first unit you failed rolling for. Okay, I think
the only important.
They've died in real life.
Okay, I think I am charge phases at this point. No, there's a lot of friggin' neophytes over here. I don't like that. Should have fallen back to those guys. Let's go with charges. I'm going to charge the Ironclad into these guys.
Okay.
12. That's a lot of movement. Jeez, dude. That's 7 to get there. There.
We're gonna
touching the point.
We're gonna get hammered here. This is good move from Agent X. That was a really lucky charge roll. He's gonna try to screen out as much of this objective as he can, so he can lock in passive scoring for that thing without the neophyte hybrids being able to stop him. Right now, these 3 models are gonna prevent with their engagement range, prevent that stuff from happening.
And I will send this into your jackals.
And I don't know if KingKungFury really has what it takes to run his stuff across the table here in order to prevent that from happening.
Yeah. Cool.
And I'm going to make sure you can't get through here. So actually, let me roll. I just need like not a 2 and I can be okay. So I'm just going to rotate and kind of block as much as I can.
Cool.
That's what he'll do. All right, go ahead and let's see here. Anyone else? Scouts? I will start swinging over here. Do you want to do something? Are you interrupting me?
No.
No? Okay. I'm going to roll my Whirlwind. He gets 3 attacks. I'm just going to go down the line. I don't think he can interrupt, so I'll just go across my armies. So hits on 4s, 2 hits, 2 wounds into your bikes from the Whirlwind. No AP. No AP.
The guy gets you. Carry on.
Okay. I'll next go to Bjorn. He will go ahead and swing into you.
Mm-hmm.
He gets 6 attacks. That should just wipe the unit. Actually, how many guys are in here? Yeah. All right, 4 saves. I think it just goes right through.
Deck.
Okay, he doesn't have anything to fight anymore. And you get to pick which one of these. So I'll switch it over to you because the charging phase is over, and you get to pick non-chargers.
Cool. Here 9 attacks on the scouts. See?
Take 1 more wound, so he is dead.
So,
I'll attack with the Lancer. I'll get my 3 attacks. I think that's 1 hit from the Lancer. It's on 5s. Yeah, hits on 5s. Strength 6. I don't know your toughness. If your toughness 3, that's a wound. If it's not toughness,
okay.
1 wound. No AP.
Okay, and 5 guys attack. One. No AP.
He's good. And then I'll come over to the scouts, and they will swing into you. 8 dice, hitting on 3s.
Hello?
Over to you, 4 saves.
So 3 gate.
Go ahead and remove your models.
I will leave them there because I will come back to life.
That's fine. Go ahead and switch the time. Switch the time back to me.
Already in life, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I believe that is all the melee. Oh, you swing back here. Sorry. Your jackals swing back, and then I've done all my attacks, I believe.
Sorry, this base. So 4 power weapons. 1.
He's good.
Takes 1. And,
takes power. You said it's a power weapon?
Yeah. And nothing else. So takes 1.
Takes 1. Okay. All right. I believe my turn is over. I will switch it over to you. While I do my screen. I did get investigate signals for 6.
So and I take now from Scotland because I'm holding mine. Yes, 3.
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, these guys are upright. Good. So 3 signal guys.
Cool. And area denial. Okay.
All right, so going to be tough here, I think.
The opponents. Okay. Cool.
The time is tight for both these players. Pretty insane. I think that's we'll call this the Gene Stealer cult effect. It feels like everything deep striking and then deep striking again and then respawning itself does take a lot of time to execute. I think Agent X doesn't really have the time to fiff-faff around with his turns. I think he essentially just needs to run things to primary objectives right now. Yeah. Just swarm the primaries, my guy. I mean,
Backline is here. No, I can't do anything. Backline here. Cool and okay. Wow, how can I get that one? The saboteur will will use the grenade launcher ability to the gladiator.
Is this all your units on the? Put the time on me. I have questions for you. Do you have anything else coming in this turn, or is now you're in the shooting phase?
I'm in the shooting phase.
Okay. You're only shooting me with this unit here. They don't ignore cover. I'm gonna give him the smoke. 1 CP.
I can
-1
make
to hit.
Ignore the cover with them. These guys can shoot in cover, correct? The vehicle. Or I'm mistaken.
yeah, you can fire into combat. You get -1 to hit for non-pistols though.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. The next round into this one.
So I don't need to use my. I'll put the time back on me because I'm asking you quick.
Yeah, we can pause.
I don't need
for
smoke.
questions.
I don't need smoke then because you already have -1 for pistols.
Yeah. So this unit remains stationary. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
one.
Right. So you can't grenade here because they're engaged. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I failed, so it doesn't matter. So one.
I will give him armor contempt instead since he's already getting buffs. I'll use the CP for armor contempt.
+1 here as well, but okay. Yeah. Cool. This guy shoot there.
Yeah. So who's shooting first here?
First, the Ridge Runner, 1 hit.
So the Ridge Runner can't shoot the Lancer with the indirect. Oh, it can shoot its stubbers. Just kidding.
Okay, I can move. I can see.
Yeah. I think you can see already. To be fair, I think you can see that line. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
cool.
fine.
So one kick doesn't kill. This squad is shooting. I take -1.
Right.
So 6 is 2 AP2, no cover.
2 AP2. Onto which unit?
Here, to the Lancer.
Okay, so it becomes AP1 because I use the strat, so he's okay with the force.
Okay, and 2 flamers. One AP1, and I'm clock out. So
it hits. So the flamer hits him. He's down to 3.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happens when you clock out. Do you finish your shooting phase, or do you just stop immediately?
Yeah, you can finish that shooting step, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So if you want to finish the attacks here, I think that Agent, even if we just retain this game state because you hold these two, you score primaries. And so I think that you would solitarying it out. I don't think there's any way that you wouldn't score out on primary.
Yeah, that's hope that's all the tanks are parked in the middle for. Yes.
Yeah,
Trying to
yeah,
get
for
that.
sure. Yeah, even if the Lancer goes down.
Yeah, that was a very tense game for my first ever Gene Stealer cult. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
But all that movement costs you, I guess. So that's your Achilles heel is the clock.
I believe the fact that I don't have enough games in 10th cost me.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I feel your pain.
Especially with an army that like moves itself so many times too. I can definitely understand that. That makes total sense.
Because I believe if I had more time, I will do something differently, and also I will win in the long run. But okay.
I agree with you. Time. If you had time, you would mop and continue.
Yes.
I'm running out of units, and you just keep recycling them. I have a strong position on the board, though. I do have my pieces, my objectives fairly well protected. And I don't think you can get in with your trick. So it would, if we had time, I think it would still be slightly competitive because these objectives are secured.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Especially like that tax on tunnel crawlers is really like you can see the Calidus assassin doing work on that stratagem. So there's like very little way to interact with these objectives back here.
Yeah, with my infiltrators covering and the Calidus tax, I feel very secure on the side of the board. So yeah,
right.
that was a big part of my game plan coming in.
Yeah, I almost think. I mean, I think it's potentially possible to sort of flip the time crunch around too. Maybe if like all the neophytes just run onto these objectives and then just like pass the turn every turn, basically, and then keep respawning and doing it again.
that would hurt too.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like I do appreciate Demetrios. You played very, very cagey, but I do think it is possible that maybe that this race will just run out of attacks eventually. There's only so much those dreadnoughts can do, I think.
I believe that I wanted to go second. I don't know why you want to go first.
I would have pushed. I had a very aggressive game plan. I would be in your backfield as soon as I could. All my tanks pushing forward, and then turn 2, I would be playing here. So yeah, I would have been much happier and much less stressed going first.
Yeah. I think the key point is that you can protect them on the first turn, right? Or at least all but one of them probably, because the deep strikers don't come in until turn 2. So like the lancers can basically be like across the, like basically on the midline, right? If they just like.
I was going to advance every single vehicle. I mean, you saw me start on the line. I was just going to be start your engines and get to the other side, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
That was my game plan.
I can definitely understand that. Well, good game to both you guys. Agent, congratulations on taking it down. You guys played a great game. It was really fun to watch.
Everyone's getting their fill of Space Wolves and Gene Stealers.
I know. Apparently, yeah, for sure.
Now I get to play with Reese and his janky Revenant and his Wraith Guard. That's not a good prize.
Well, you get those Gladiator Lancers. They'll get them, I believe. Pew pew.
I looked at the map. It favors him greatly. All those objectives are in the open. Yeah. I can't play like this. It's going to be scary.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to watching that one too. Maybe that Revenant Titan will do 2 damage again, like it did in its first game, and then explode.
I've already told Reese I'm Calidusing his stuff, so yeah, he's gonna pay a tax.
Yeah.
For everything he does against him.
You want to Overwatch? No. We don't do that here. Well, thanks, guys. I have to hop into the next one, so thank you so much. Thanks for the good game, both of you, and I'm sure I'll see you two on a finals table in the future.
Okay.
Good game.
Thanks for the game, Mark.
Cheers.
Take care.
Okay.
All right, chat. Thank you so much. We have to hop off because we are very late for our second game here. So I am going to hop over to that stream momentarily, and we'll get that one underway. So thanks, everyone. When is it time to admit the game doesn't play faster in 10th edition? Yeah, I think that is probably largely the fault of these Gene Stealer cult mechanics. Tactical objectives, I think, also increase the game time slightly just because you have to reconsider your game plan every turn. But I do think that, it is probably an issue with the fact that these, I mean, combat movements are more complicated, you know, determining cover is more complicated. Genestealer Called plays with like 300 models that redeploy multiple times. And I do think that that is probably a timing problem for the game playing in a fast manner. I hope that Genestealer Called, you know, gets something to sort of alleviate that. Not necessarily nerf the faction outright, but I do think that they need something to play a little bit faster. All right, chat, I'm going to go ahead and pop off this stream. I'm going to hop onto the other stream, so you should be redirected directly there. That will be live in about 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm going to get that lobby open for the players. Thank you so much for watching. And we're going to be live again now with Thousand Suns versus Eldari. That thing I think is going to be a super sweet game, and probably one that doesn't go to timeout, I imagine. We'll see. So thank you very much, everyone, and I'll see you then.